In a world crying out for a top 10 show, John Rocha and Matt Knost are here to bring you the top 10. Brought to you by the Schmoes Know. Take it away, boys. Welcome, everybody, to this week's edition of the Top 10 Show. I am John Rocha.
Hola, John. I am Matt Knost.
Yeah, I'm starting to introduce this early because like, you've made me paranoid, and not in a negative way, about the fact that we've gone on. Sometimes we get too familiar, and we don't remember to say our names until way down the line.
I think there have been a couple instances where we've said it at the very end of the show.
Yes.
At least,
Yes,
at least
exactly.
twice.
And that's what you've made me aware of, and so I have to respect that and be like, you know what? I'm just going to say my name out.
No,
what am I trying to hide? You know,
2 out of what, like 100 and I don't know something of these.
a lot.
A lot. We've done this a lot,
Yes.
so it's a very small. You're talking about roughly 2%.
Yeah, but I don't.
1.5%.
I'm a perfectionist.
We all
in
are.
some weird way. Yeah. So
It took me that many. It took me what, 80 shows to get the parsing of the show structure
That's
out.
right.
Perfectly. That's the entire first run audio.
That's
I
true.
I maybe got it twice that I liked it.
Well, sometimes we can't. We're too close to something. Sometimes you can't see.
Can't see the forest for the trees.
That's the thing. Sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how are you doing, Matt?
I'm good. I'm
Yes.
good. It's a good time of year. Baseball, not baseball. Baseball is back, but
Baseball is
basketball playoffs are in full swing.
Absolutely.
Loving every second of it.
Yes.
We can talk about basketball at the end. I don't want to front load it.
Yes. We shouldn't. I rush home to watch now.
Yeah, exactly. To see what the games were tonight, there's some really interesting pivotal matchups, and we're both intrigued as to who's gonna take the upper hand in those.
Exactly.
Yeah, but so I'm good. I'm good. Busy cooking up great ideas for this show, baby. That's all I'm doing. That is all I'm doing.
Are you back on? Like, are you starting to? Because I saw you were taking some sets. Are you starting to?
I was before. It
spots?
just came down to how busy my schedule was. But
Okay.
yeah, I get up. Not as often as I used to. I used to try and get up every night of the week if I could.
Are you finding new material, or like, are you like?
Well, that's all I'm trying to do. I'm pushing myself to. Although the best part is, so what was that? A month and a half ago when I
Yeah.
had to get a new phone.
Oh yeah.
Every joke that I've written for I don't know how long was on that phone and it wasn't backed up.
Oh shit.
But it's mostly like the ones that I've been using, I can remember and I can get back to, and that's not a problem.
Right,
Plus
of
all the
course.
recordings and all that shit.
Yeah.
But it was just premises, countless premises that sometimes you have to go back a second or third time to, and then you spark something new in your mind. You're like,
Right.
oh yeah, what about that? Is there something there? All that is gone. Years of that. That hurts. I was thinking about it the other day because I was just like, oh yeah, that joke. And I started to initially go for my notes, and I'm like, that doesn't exist. I don't know why I think I'm going for a ghost in the machine. That's gone.
Some person on Twitter who is verified, it became a whole viral tweet because he turned his computer into a store, and he had backed everything up, but his backup got corrupted. And they, at the store, he didn't get in, like, I think he didn't get in contact with them in time, and 14 years of writing were erased.
Wow.
Like entire books that he had been working on, and documents and articles and shit, like, erased completely. I can't even understand the depth of that kind of loss.
Oh, that's like a medieval times, and only so many people can read and write. And books are like gold bars.
Yeah.
Like if your family has one, you're like crazy rich, and the super rich have, a small library or something.
Right.
And it burns down. You're like, that's all the knowledge this village had right there, up in embers.
It's a Book of Eli situation.
It's
Like one guy.
That's the digital equivalent. 14 years?
Yeah.
14 years. Wow.
Can you imagine that? 14 years of fucking shit down the toilet. I can't even imagine.
I lost like 4 years.
Really?
Yeah, because I transferred from one phone to the next.
Right.
And I have a backup from 2 years ago, but those jokes I've looked over. There's maybe something there, but I doubt it at this point.
The only time I ever came close to anything like that was a few years ago when my original MacBook hard drive got corrupted, and I wasn't as vigilant as about backing stuff up. Like I just wasn't, and it was an issue with it. So with the 2011 MacBook Pros, they had an issue that there was memory issues. I was constantly having to get a new like motherboard for the. I did it 4 times, 4 times, man. And the second time that it happened, a few years ago, I lost 10,000 songs. Lost them. The depth of despair for me, who's a massive music fan, and I'm always walking around with headphones in my ears.
So is that why you have an aversion of digital movies? Just because of this subconscious destruction?
Yes. I still have stacks and stacks of CDs because...
When do you listen to those CDs?
I never listen to them.
Exactly.
But in case that happens
again.
again.
2 boxes in my garage.
Right.
For what purpose?
Just in case.
In case what?
The digital gets
corrupted
corrupted
log
again.
onto YouTube?
Well, that's not the same. No way. That's not anywhere near the same thing.
It's not, but I'm saying you can find it again for free.
Sure. Well, not for free because you're paying for the internet, but sure. But in my mind, I like to have the music. I make playlists on my iTunes. Like I have a whole 9. And so to me, music is really fucking important, dude.
You're talking to a guy that filled a 120 gig iPod.
Woo-hoo. See? So you get it.
Yeah.
Right.
I stopped doing it because I drove myself nuts. I listened to nonstop. I was listening to like 5 new bands a week and trying to like always stay on top of what's the new, who's this? What do they sound like? Just nonstop. And it just burnt myself the fuck out of it.
Every once in a while, whenever like I don't collect like that anymore, right? When I was younger, fuck yeah, like all the time. I'd go to the listening stations at Tower Records and would like, oh, I got to get this CD or I got to find this thing or whatever. So it used to be like just the way I did things. But now, I don't have the time. So usually, if a song breaks through my wall, a new song, great, I'll like the song. But I'm not going to go in and dive into an album or CD rather and like learn all that fucking song. No way. But at the end of the year, then I go back and whatever the top 100 songs from Amazon are, I will listen to 30-second samples of each one. This is like my New Year's Eve tradition. I just listen to them, and then the ones I like, I download. And that's kind of how I stay somewhat current with what the kids are into, man.
I used to... when they would release the big festival lineups.
Oh, yeah.
I'd go through and find the small bands underneath and just start picking at random and go find their album and listen to their album.
Interesting.
And you never know. Like I found some bands that I absolutely adore now from doing at least that album that they were touring on at that time. There's a band called Tapes and Tapes that I could not stop listening to.
Okay.
There was an English band. Oh, shit. What was their name? I could look it up later.
Yeah.
There was a cool band I found called Phenomena where all the guys... So, at least so I read. I don't know if this is true or not, but they all got together and basically did some sort of email chain and said, all right, this next song is going to be in this time signature.
Yeah.
And in this key, send me whatever you want. And they would just combine and make a song out of it. You're like, that's really interesting. And the album is kind of all over the place, but it's really good.
Wow.
It's really interesting.
Okay.
And just, instrumental shit, like a band called Rat-a-tat.
Okay.
Stumbled on them, and I think it's whatever album it is with loud pipes and a couple other things.
Wow.
But the whole album is great.
Yeah.
But there's no words. It's just a build up in the song, and the song has a vibe, and it's going for that vibe, and it has changes, and you just listen to the orchestration. And then you move on to something like I did that nonstop, and then I knew 5 bands like Rat-a-tat. And then I would go on to this thing you've never heard of, just because I just like discovering, oh, wow, this is really cool. And I like how they did this aspect of it.
Right.
And then just move on and just built. After a while, I was like, I can't even keep these people straight anymore.
You're like, I can't put it together.
Yeah.
No, I'm that way with more of that retro new wave 80s type stuff.
Okay.
I will slide into a hole of all that shit on YouTube, and then I'll be like, okay, I need to go find these songs and download them and blah, blah. Like Kravinsky, Divas, DVAS. There's a bunch of college, like Drive, that film Drive used a lot of that kind of stuff because it's like old school 80s synthesizer shit. I got a terrible obsession with that kind of music. Terrible obsession.
Yeah, if it was 5 years ago, that synth wave that they do in the beginning of Stranger Things, I would have fallen down a wormhole of finding like 6, 8 bands.
Yeah.
Because I'm already a huge fan of Daft Punk. So when it's done well, I really enjoy that. It's orchestrated. They're building a song. They're creating a small piece of art.
Yep.
Anyway, so this week's show.
So this week,
That's fine. You know,
we do our
listen.
things.
By our standards, that was not a lot of kibitzing.
No, true.
Up top.
But this week's show is one of our Patreon's suggestions.
I can't remember what's. This is the weekend after Avengers.
Infinity War. Yes, everyone's taking a breath.
Exactly. The whole studio system was taking a breath. We looked at the upcoming slate, like whatever it was, a month ago. It's like, there's nothing that weekend. Let's do a Patreon. And we reached out, and Robert Haley came back with a really interesting topic. One that you have to construct it. So here is the premise.
Yeah, break it down.
He wanted a decade, choose a decade.
Yeah.
And he gave 2 examples, and we chose the 2000s. So 2000 through 2009, the aughts,
right,
as they were.
aughts.
And you have to select one movie from each year. So just one singular individual movie, and then create a top 10 of that decade of those singular individual movies from each year.
Right. So you're picking your favorite movie of each year from 2000 to 2009, which comes out to 10 movies.
Yes.
And we each have, I don't know if we're going to have the same movies.
We will. There will be
so?
some crossover.
Okay, we'll have some crossover, hope. Who knows? We have some interesting tastes, so we'll see. And of course, the cop-out is to go with the Oscar winner for Best Picture.
Oh, yeah, but that's
not always the choice for me.
No,
And
not even close.
Yeah.
Like by a long shot, actually.
Yeah, so and I've got some interesting choices, and it was really kind of fascinating and fun to kind of create this list. You know, most times when we get lists, topics, I'm like, 5 or 6 already leap to mind, or give me 5 minutes, like we do sometimes. Well, I'll text Matt, or Matt will text me, and he'll go, okay, give me 5 minutes, and he'll come back. Oh yeah, I've got 12. I'm good. That kind of thing. But with this one, this was just took a little bit more research, and it was actually fun to kind of remember what was in what year. And
it's amazing. Certain years, like there's one in particular, I had 3 written down. I went through a list every year of every American released film.
Yeah.
For that calendar year.
Right.
And I wrote down anything that remotely made contention. Okay, what about that? Because you never know when you look at the end of the list and you're like, surprisingly, these are all kind of the same on some level to me. Mm-hmm. They're not the same movie, but the way I feel about them, it's like they're all great.
Yeah.
No, not one is stellar or doesn't jump off the page.
Right.
So it's kind of my choice in this instance.
Yeah.
But one year in particular, I wrote down 3. I've got others that I have 3 lines. Where they're excellent years, and you're like, you could sell me. In reality, there's only really a few in contention.
Right.
But if you wanted to refine this, I would choose that one. If you want to say that, I would choose this one. Like there's so many excellent films from this one year.
Yeah, I found a couple of websites, and I would just go down the list of movies that came out, the first 25 or 30 that list considers the best of that year. Yeah. And then I would just go down. In my head, I would log in my head, okay, yes, that's my choice so far. I forgot that movie. Okay, that's my choice now. And then by the end, I'd be like, okay, that's my choice. And that's how I did it with every year. Like I went 30 to 50 deep, and then I was like, okay, by the end, I chose, and then I was good to go. And so, but like I said, it was a fun exploration. I have an alternate list of the top film from each. So the second place choice, I have made a whole list of that as well. And then I like...
Oh, the number 2s of that year?
Yeah, the number 2s of that year for me.
I can do that too. I've got it all written down in front of me, so I just go through and be like, all right, this year would be that. Now reordering that into a different 10, that's a different... I haven't done that. If you have...
Yeah, no.
I don't know.
All right.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So what I was saying is like, there's a bunch of good movies from one year. So for me, that is maybe sacrilege for you. But 2006.
That's your number one film?
That's my number 10. So from 2006, that year.
Okay.
The way the show works.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about how the show works.
Once John and I set a topic, we go our individual ways and create personal top 10 lists, and we show back up here. I do my bottom 3, he does his bottom 3. I do my next 2, he does his next 2. Then we trade one apiece. Once we have revealed our personal top 10 list, we create the shows between the 2 of us.
Boom.
So I'll tell you the year. If that's in your bottom 3, then we can talk about the 2 movies now.
All right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yes. I think it does make sense.
Unless let's say if you bring up a movie and I have it higher, then I'll tell you to punt and we'll just talk about the one now that is in the bottom. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes. Sounds good.
Okay. So 10 for me from 2006.
Okay.
Do you know where 2006 is on your list?
I do. I am looking at it right now.
Okay. Is Apocalypto.
Okay. So that was your favorite movie of 2006.
At number 10.
But it is number 10 on your list.
Correct.
Okay. That is not on my list.
Didn't think so.
Go ahead.
That year there's a bunch of great movies for me.
Yes.
And Apocalypto stood out as the most interesting and different and still managed to resonate as well as these others.
Okay.
Because I know most people are going to choose potentially what's on your list for later.
Yes.
and I'm not going to fight with you. But at the end of that year, when I walked away, I liked that movie a lot. But of the canon of that director, it's just like, well, compared to it was this. But those to me are quintessential. They are.
I like how you say that. Quintessential.
Quintessential. Well, they just are. One in particular.
Right.
So Apocalypto, plus it was Gibson. Is he going to come back? Is he not? And then to tell the story of Mayan civilizations as they run into Spanish conquistadors.
Yeah.
And the hell that is about to be descended upon them. And the people that, because you do it from the perspective of just someone that lives in a small tribe in the jungle itself, as opposed to as it appears, within the Mayan civilization.
Right.
And they come a-calling one day, and that kid gets scooped up, and unfortunately he shows up on a sacrifice.
Yeah.
You are just, going to be ground up and spit out here as we make a sacrifice to the sun, so that, I'm not sure, is it this one of those, it ended at a Mayan calendar year, so this was an important super sun or something?
Yeah, I think so. And so the way they were doing it, with like the way they set it all up and taking pieces out of people, and they're all just waiting in line, which is really intense.
Oh, yeah, no, they're being forced up.
Thing.
It's a conveyor belt of death.
Yep.
And they roll them down the front, and that body just goes, and they hold up the heart. And I've read Spanish accounts of what that is, or at least a watered down version when I was younger.
Right.
I'm sure I didn't read the super graphic. I saw spleens, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't remember anything like that, but it visualized, you hear about just the rampant killing, sacrifice of people to the god that is the sun, which from their perspective is accurate.
Sure.
They don't, this thing shows up and gives us life. Why wouldn't that be a god?
Right.
They don't know any better. That's, by all stances, pretty educated, because there are numerous other civilizations that came to the same conclusion as we evolved our thinking as to what is what in our world.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I know people knock it for the goriness. It's gory.
It is gory, but the thing is about the film, and the film is, Matt, like, people don't give it enough credit. It's an incredible action adventure film.
But told like very personally.
But a thriller too, because the person they've chosen to be the villain, he is so believable as this evil killing machine that will not stop, and just keeps going no matter who the sacrifice is.
Short guy complex kind of thing.
Yeah, because it's a principle. It's the principle of the thing, and then his personal feeling, and so it becomes. And this guy's trying to save his wife and his child, and
his family.
Yeah, his family, and he doesn't. And it's so primal in that way, right? They're not speaking. They're not talking about this in an elevated way. It is a very simple thing, in that this guy is trying to save his family from these other people who are from another tribe or another whatever it is. They're not like, they're not the same tribe.
Yeah.
So they're trying to, he's trying to evade them. It's hunter.
Yeah. It's
predator hunter.
Exactly. Hopefully we can coexist.
Yeah.
But you're making it so we can't.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's fight or flight.
Yeah. Fight or flight.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Flight is our best option because there's so many more of you.
Right.
This is just a killing party that you sent after us.
Mm-hmm. And it turns into guerrilla warfare because he knows the terrain better than they do.
It's home turf. You got the home court advantage.
Yeah. And then just when you think, and I look, it's an old movie, so I'm not going to be upset if I ruin it, but just when you think that he has gotten out of the whole situation, then another more daunting evil thing is coming by the end of the movie, and you're like, fuck.
And it looks benign too.
It does, of course.
I read an account from some priests that showed up with the conquistadors, and they said that the Mayan people thought that the man and horse were fused, and it was just one giant like beast.
Yeah.
When they first saw it, and it was like, that would kind of blow your mind because you've never seen a horse,
of course,
let alone a man ride a horse. So to think it's some huge godlike being, it's amazing.
Yeah,
it's amazing. I can't imagine what they thought of like Hannibal on an elephant.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Just coming over the fucking Alps. And to see something that seems somewhat historical come to life always piques my interest. It's always going to hit a sweet spot for me.
He did a great job. If he wasn't such a lunatic, he'd be on the level of the respect that Affleck gets. They'd considered him to direct.
I think he'd be better.
Possibly. They considered him to direct Suicide Squad 2. And I thought he'd be great to direct that film. And so at some point, he's going to get his shot. The thing is, he's just such a nutty fucker, and he did terrible things like that and said all the things that he said when he was drunk and whatever and left those voicemails. So it's a difficult thing because he can direct the fuck out of a movie.
He really can.
I've never seen a movie of his that I didn't like, and that's something. Yeah.
Even you can tell the passion that went into it.
Yeah.
Every time. It's painstaking, like even in the seemingly simplistic shots.
Yeah.
It's just like you can just tell the care that was put into it.
He understands his material.
Yeah.
What's your number 9?
Number 9 is from 2009.
Okay.
You ready?
Break it down.
District 9.
Okay, good choice. Not on my list.
Not on your list?
No.
And your 2009 is higher?
I have a different one.
Okay.
Well, how are we doing this? I'm confused a little bit.
Well, you have a different one. Is it higher than your bottom 3? I guess we'll just talk about it.
Are we doing by year or by movie? Oh, I guess we're doing by year, right? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, we have to pick a movie per year.
Okay, so yes, so my 2006 is much higher.
Yeah, okay.
So
yeah, we're just doing the movie. I threw it. Yeah, just relax.
So it's the year that we're focusing on, right?
And the movie.
Okay.
If we have the movie, then you need to tell me to punt, just like regular rules.
Oh, okay.
And then what I said before is if you have your 2009 or whatever it was in your bottom 3.
I do. My 2009 is in my bottom 3. My 2009.
That's fine. We'll just talk about it when we get to it. Why I don't know why I'm making it more complex.
I don't know. Okay. All right. We're figuring this out as we go along.
District, exactly. It's a new. I love the idea.
Yeah, me too.
Bobo, you came up with a good one, my friend. I like this, and I think we should revisit this again.
I agree.
I think this is a fun guest topic too, because there's expression of personality within my list that doesn't come out on a regular list.
Yeah,
because it's so like winnowed down to it is this, and actually this is more fluid dynamic of my opinion.
Right. Okay.
So District 9, out of nowhere. Yeah. Where did this movie come from?
Yeah, right.
I remember seeing the not park benches, but bus benches.
Yeah.
Starting there around LA, just like the insects you can't sit here type of thing.
Yep.
And it was effective. It piqued my interest really early on. And I saw the billboard and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you go to it and it's a grand story told through a small perspective.
Yep.
Like the stakes involved are an alien civilization versus our entire globe.
Right.
And what this means. And then it's an allegory for apartheid and racism.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's a beautiful story that's told so innocently through the acting of Charlton Copley. Mm-hmm. Out of nowhere. Didn't know who he was before this. I wish he worked more because that guy, I liked his Murdoch.
Yeah.
Could be my favorite part of A-Team.
Absolutely, man. He was great in his Murdoch.
Yeah.
He was in Elysium. He played that like ruthless killer in Elysium.
Yeah, he did. He was in that Angelina Jolie film, Enchanted. What was that?
Oh, yes.
called?
He played the king.
Yeah,
That's
he
right.
played the king that...
Yeah.
That one killed me.
Yeah.
Really? This guy pulled Jolie?
Yeah.
Really? But at the same time, he is king, so I get that. But
it's a status.
yeah, but at the same time,
Yeah.
it's a lot of same times. But it makes my head.
Well, this announced Neil Blomkamp as well because he's the director of the film.
Yeah, it did Elysium and Chappie after that.
Yeah, and people were looking at. He apparently had already like conceived of an Alien movie. He was going to do Alien.
I think he was attached to Halo when Peter Jackson was going to EP it.
That makes sense.
And then they pulled it out, and he got District 9 because of that.
Right.
Like Jackson helped him get. I believe that's what the story is.
Well, it's a great. I love District 9. It's such a good film, and the special effects, the combo of the special effects with like kind of the lower class type approach to the situation. It was really incredible how they made that mix. It still felt gritty and urban and very much from its locations of South Africa, but it still had that accessibility that you could that was universal, which I really enjoyed about it too. And it was one that just I felt like the Matrix. It's like the Matrix. Like no one thought about anything about this. Then they saw it and they were like, "Holy shit, you got to go see this thing!" You know. And sci-fi has the ability to do that.
You've made it an entirely believable world.
Yes.
And when he jettisons off in the ship, okay, let's do a follow-up. What's their civilization like?
Right.
When you show up there, and now how does he find his place, and we follow this character around?
Right.
I can't imagine how you differentiate all of them if they all, look the same. Like it's kind of like what they do with clone troopers. This guy's got a stripe. That guy got a this guy's got a that. So you can kind of keep, here are the drones, so to speak, and here are the ones you need to focus on.
Right.
Because otherwise, if everybody looks the same, you're not used to seeing bugs. Yeah. They're all going to look like bugs after a while. Yeah. You have to do something. I don't know. But at the same time, or maybe we join the story again and he's coming back. Yeah. And now he's got people with him. The dynamic is still here, so we have us to identify with. And there's but after that, I saw Elysium entirely because of
Me too.
Blomkamp.
Yep.
And I held off on Chappie because I didn't want to see that, and it ruined my perception of District 9. And I like Elysium.
Yeah.
It doesn't succeed as grandly as you would want. I still enjoy the film.
Okay.
It's just me.
Yeah.
I like
it. Is just...
after seeing this, like, this is a revelation.
Yeah.
Where's this guy? Who's this guy?
Exactly.
I'd love to see his take on Blade Runner.
Oh yeah, it'd be interesting to see him do it at Blade Runner.
Not to say that Denis didn't.
He did a great job.
Crush somehow like 3 Grand Slams at once.
He did.
But I'm saying, like, this is another guy that could have an interesting take on that world. He has that vibe to him.
I agree.
Yeah, it's like when you know that Del Toro has a hook on, not Del Toro, I'm thinking of Benicio, the director.
Guillermo del Toro?
Del Toro, that is another. I don't know why my mind stalled. Yeah. But like sometimes you're like, oh yeah, he'd be perfect. Like his take on The Hobbit would be interesting.
Oh yeah.
It might be a little too eccentric, but at the same time, if you started with that, you'd be used to it instead of Pete Jackson's.
I might enjoy that one.
Yeah, who knows? But yeah, District 9, if you haven't seen it, it's a super interesting story told through something that even if you want to tune that aspect of it out, you can enjoy it for the character and action that it presents.
Absolutely.
But it also has a nice bit of meaning, which you don't often see in, well, you do see it in sci-fi. They try and tell more realistic tales, but outside of an action film, so to speak.
Yep. All right, what's your number 8?
My number 8 is from 2005.
Oh, so close. All right.
This was a tough year.
Okay. Yeah.
I remember looking at this one back and forth going, all right, what am I? Because it's a bunch of different. So I chose, I think, the one that I may have seen the most, 40-Year-Old Virgin.
And that's 2005?
2005.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, 2005 is higher on my list.
And an utterly different movie.
Utterly different movie. I don't know if we're going to have the same movies. That's what I'm saying. It's going to be a fun little list.
I think we'll have a couple.
All right, maybe a couple.
I think a couple.
Yeah. 40-Year-Old Virgin, great choice. Love that movie. Definitely one of the most rewatchable movies ever.
It was right in a pocket where there were just a bunch of comedies coming out.
Yeah.
Every year that I ended up enjoying, which isn't the case. A lot of years I'm just like, I did have one.
Yeah.
One that I thought was genuinely good, top to bottom.
You're tough on the comedies, I know. It's not a negative. It's not a negative.
It's just when you're there dissecting.
That's what I'm saying.
You don't enjoy it. It's the comedy that distracts you from that through some artful.
Right.
Even if you've seen the premise before, as long as it's done artfully, you appreciate it for what it is, as opposed to, well, that joke was fucking lazy. And really, had you just called back this, I think it gets a better response. And that joke doesn't make sense in the context of these characters and shit like that over and over and over again. Yeah, I do that.
Yeah.
Well, it's not fun. But for 40-Year-Old Virgin, I like a lot of America likes Steve Carell.
Yeah.
And to see him branch out and carry a movie that now he gets the opportunity to do on all kinds of different drama.
Yeah.
He doesn't do comedy as much anymore, but I can easily see him returning back to it.
Sure.
But just an early, this guy is someone I want to watch and someone I can identify with. Even a story as seemingly ridiculous as this.
Yeah.
Which is a guy that works at a Best Buy or a Circuit City. Populated by great characters around him. You got Paul Rudd and Jane Lynch, Seth Rogen.
Yep. Romany Malco.
Yeah.
Who's great.
That Indian guy.
Oh, yeah.
Just curses at him.
Yeah.
Pretty much nonstop.
The other Indian guy got convicted of murder. He's in jail.
Which other? Oh, really?
Yes, he killed his girlfriend with a knife. He stabbed her 10 times.
Oh, yeah.
That guy, yeah, he's in jail, man. So it's weird to watch the movie now knowing that guy is a fucking murderer in real life.
It's like that girl from Smallville. I never watched that show.
Oh, yeah, that shit that burst over the weekend.
Recruiting.
Oh, Allison Mack.
Yeah, women to join a sex cult.
Allegedly.
I heard about that 6 months ago. I've never even heard of that. I've never watched that show 1 second.
Really? Oh, I had a crush on her big time, man.
No, I never heard.
She does not look the same anymore, man. It looks like that guy went in there and sucked her soul out of her body.
Well,
I'm just saying.
He sucked something from somewhere.
Hey-oh.
That's for goddamn sure.
It's a cult.
If she's now out pimping for him.
Yeah, that's fuck. And apparently that Kristen Crook actress who was on Smallville as well, she's the one that got her into it because she initially was a member of it at the beginning, and then apparently, according to her reps, she got out of it before it got dirty or crazy. But I don't know how much of that I believe.
Maybe.
Because I think, people want they want to save their careers. And the second something becomes a cult, they're like, oh, no, I got out before it got weird.
Yeah, I was never a part of that.
I'm sure it was weird before you got out, but okay.
I was a part of Jonestown when it was Jones Village. It was a much smaller world at that point. We were young kids. We were figuring it out, once it hit township and it got large enough, I was out of there. I like the small town life.
I wasn't part of the Manson. I was part of the Manson friends, not the family.
Exactly.
I wasn't part of the family.
Is extended at best.
At best.
So,
Anyway.
40-Year-Old Virgin.
Yeah.
It created a really fun universal movie that I think, on some level, just about any age could watch. There are things that young kids shouldn't see in it.
Sure.
Just situations, sexual situations that are just they're not going to know.
No, right. What's going
Why
on?
is she sucking on his toes?
Right.
And then he has the involuntary spasm and kicks her in the face. But it's a great setup to. I think that's the first time I've ever seen Morningwood.
Oh, yeah.
And accurately depicted on some level.
Well, I thought that one and Me, Myself, and Irene, when he wakes up and he starts pissing on himself because he's whatever, he's crazy glued his penis to his stomach.
That's not,
But that was Morningwood because it's up. Yeah.
This was more, although when you have that, I walk in, I'm immediately at whatever that angle is for my body for it just to make it in there.
I don't do that.
You don't do that?
I wait till it goes down, then I go piss.
Well, it just depends on how bad you got to pee.
It's a good point. But I know I've had a good night's sleep when I wake up with Morningwood. Like if I don't wake up with Morningwood, it means I haven't had a good night's sleep. It means I haven't slept the appropriate amount of time. That's how my body. Yeah, that's how my body works, man.
That's your circadian rhythm. Is on boner time.
It's like a turkey pop up. Like my turkey's ready to go.
Oh,
the thing popped up.
There's your T-shirt. Just a little head of you saying, whatever. I sleep on boner time. Fuck, it's something ridiculous. Oh, John Rocha, boner time approved.
It's true, man. If I don't wake up and I'm not hard, it's like fuck. I didn't get a good enough sleep. It's true. Anyway, this film is full of a lot of great, funny, and it's got a lot of heart. Like with all the ridiculousness of the premise, which is not really that ridiculous because I think it was inspired by the fact that A.C. Green had come out and talked about how he'd been a virgin for so long and hadn't gotten
in that lifestyle.
In that lifestyle, right?
In the 80s.
Yeah, in the 80s.
When Magic Johnson got AIDS.
Yeah, when
from
he had
doing all that stuff.
When Magic Johnson had a red velvet rope where women were waiting in line to have sex with him in a room.
Him and Jerry Buss, the owner of the Lakers, for those of you who don't know, supposedly used to have a group affairs.
Yes, group affairs.
And I don't know how regular that occurrence is, and I don't know how reliable that story is, but I've heard it from enough different people that it's probably true.
Yeah, it's a strange little world. But in the film, he's got all these friends in there, and they're all trying to give him the ideas of why, like as men do. Oh, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do this, blah blah. Blah. But in the end, just being himself and like finding Catherine Keener and having, which by the way, Catherine Keener is fantastic in the movie.
Yeah.
One of those rare movies where she's actually playing someone who's just like straight up what they are.
What, Kat Dennings is the daughter?
Yeah, Kat Dennings is the daughter. She's hilarious. And
she's great, and she also is the nice bridge, like of when the movie pivots and everything is going to end up great. It seems earned,
right?
Because once she finally is like, this is a good guy.
Yeah.
He's good for my mom. Yes, he's a little weird, but it's better than... He's actually genuinely, I can see he's a good person.
You're right.
So maybe we can correct this little...
And he genuinely cares about her,
Yes.
about her mom, and that's really important.
It's not just sex. It's as a person, he has fallen in love with who she is.
Well, and there's some great, actual, when they're having a fight between mother and daughter, I witnessed that with my mom and my sister. My God, I've witnessed those fights. There's a lot of realism, and then that funny whole little sex education scene where the little Jewish kid is talking about how long his penis is or how big his penis is, and his dad's like, you don't have a big, that whole thing, or the black father laughing at Steve Carell being a virgin, and then all of that whole scene is hilarious. And by the way, that's Carell's wife who plays the sex education teacher.
Oh yeah,
yeah. In real life, that's what Nancy Walls. And then you have the moments like you have Jonah Hill doing that weird little cameo.
Comes in, on the eBay store.
Yeah,
I sell on eBay. And he's like, but I'm here now.
Yeah, but I'm here now. I just want to buy these boots now. What's the problem?
Yeah, but I sell it on eBay. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
You're like, what?
It doesn't make sense. But then she gets him to clean up his life too, because you got to put away the toys. You got to
grow up.
You got to grow up. You can't do this forever.
Aspects of it, like Boner Jams, the name of the porn tape. I've used that in my head. I wish I had coined that because it seems like I love saying it. Just boner jamming. Boner Jams, baby.
Boner Jams.
Boner Jams, whatever, summer 2002. I can't remember the year on it.
Right.
That, like the waxing of the chest.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen that now pop up a million,
Yep.
daytime TV anchors now as a gag at some point during May sweeps that they still have for some ungodly reason will still go out and get waxed.
Yeah. One of my favorite, one of my most liked tweets was, I think, a year or two ago when they were at the Golden Globes or Critics' Choice Awards together, and Carell took a picture with Kelly Clarkson, and he put it on his thing. Kelly Clarkson! He put it on his thing. Like, so I just retweeted that, or whatever, just reposted that Instagram post, and it was like, people were losing it, because that's the film still resonates with people all these years later. They still love the film that much and that scene so much.
Yeah.
But the two scenes that I always love the most are when Romany Malco and Kevin Hart are going at it. Holy shit, that's some funny ass shit. When he's like, "Can't you give me the 5 finger?" He goes, "This is my place of business, man. I can't be doing this kind of shit." And then they go back and forth, and he's like, "I'm gonna come back here and clap you or shit you or whatever."
They keep building up the machismo. It's all bluster and bullshit.
He goes, "Aim high, Willis. Aim high."
Yeah.
Fuck, I love that scene. And then when the old Indian guy is trying to tell him about like what it's all about. It's not about cock and balls. It's not about putting whatever he says about ass play, whatever he says all this kind of crazy shit when he's trying to say that it's about love. And then when it gets as dirty as he's going to get, then Jane Lynch walks in, which is just fucking brilliant. So anyway, the film is fantastic, dude. It's a great choice.
Yeah, it's just a great play between his innocence. Like when the same guy, his girlfriend comes up and Steve Carell's got to take the fall. And he's like, just him trying to bullshit. It's also him like when he's like, yeah, it's like a bag of sand.
Yeah.
Just trying to come up, to contextualize something you have no idea about. It's so weird, though, because you can feel like your butt. And it's fat and it's fleshy, and you could guess on that. That's a closer approximation than bag of sand.
And the Elizabeth Banks stuff is hilarious, too. Oh, my God. And so it's probably the last time I found her funny, but that stuff is hilarious. So, all right, that was your number 8, right? So, is my number 10?
Yep.
All right, so my number 10 is from 2009. It is Watchmen.
Okay.
Yeah, the director's cut. I've become, in fact, I spent an hour this weekend watching the last hour of the movie. I've become a massive fan of this film in retrospect, and I defend it now to anybody who tries to still tell me it's not a good movie. And it's specifically the director's cut. I think Zack Snyder did a fantastic job with this movie. If you look at the director's cut, it says a lot about, and that film now still resonates with what's going on politically, what's going on nuclear stuff, what's going on with North Korea, like everything's happening in our society now. That film still fucking resonates, and the stuff with the comedian and what he discovers, this idea of government corruption and how they're using people, and then the idea of why Veidt does what he does to try to bring Russia and the U.S. together so they don't kill more people. It's a ruthless decision, but you can't 100% not see the logic in it. And that's
true.
That's the ugly thing about when we look at humanity. We want to believe the nobility of human beings and we do the right thing, blah, blah, blah. But sometimes it's doing the ugly thing that saves humanity, saves society, saves a country. And so sometimes you don't want to see that as the truth, but that can be the truth. And so when Dr. Manhattan...
it's the medicine you don't want to take.
Exactly. So when Manhattan at the end goes, I see that when they're looking for him to stop Veidt and turn us all back around, Manhattan sees the logic. And I love Rorschach. Man, Rorschach is my second favorite comic book character on screen ever. He really is.
It's awesome. To actually bring a moving Rorschach, test to life as it changes and the emotion and whatever the context of the situation is that character is in. It's just brilliant. It looks so amazing.
It really does. And the way Jackie Earle plays him, Earl Haley plays him like through the whole thing, and his voiceover and his interactions. And when you see his flashback, how he kills that dude who was raping the young girls. And then when he gets in prison, he's like, you guys think you're in here. You think I'm in here with you. You got it wrong. You're in here with me. Yeah. And what he does.
But he just goes ape on him.
He does. But he's still the fucking little kid that he remembers. Yeah. Because when he grabs the psychiatrist when the prison riot is happening, he says, "Where's my face?" To him, it's that essential for his life that he has to have that thing over his face, because without it he has no identity, not for long. You know what I'm saying? He needs it. And so when the end happens and he takes the mask off to accept the inevitable thing that's going to happen to him, I fucking find such nobility in that, because as dirty, as ruthless as he is, there's still a code to him that that means something, you know? So, and through the whole film, the stuff with Dr. Manhattan's great, the stuff with Night Owl is great.
It is. I didn't know how you bring Dr. Manhattan to life.
Yeah.
After having read the comic.
Yeah.
And he did it in just a beautiful way.
Yep. More people need to go back and revisit that movie.
Yeah, it's unfortunately it suffers under the weight of the graphic novel is so much better.
It really is a great graphic novel.
It sounds like a knock on the movie. I'm with you. I enjoyed the movie.
Yeah.
All the people that had the expectations, like I read this years after it came out. Mm-hmm. Somebody handed it to me. It was like, I think you'd enjoy it. And I read it and I was like, that was really good.
Yep.
It's complex. It was interesting. You know, that had depth to it. I knew it was an impossible how do you do that?
Yeah.
So my expectation level, but somebody that grew up with it and had read it at a formative time and reread it like 7 times over their teenage years kind of thing, they're going into it. And I think the vast majority of people that were hyping it were that.
Yep.
Going into it with expectations is just impossible.
Right.
You're never going to love it as much as you love it. It's never going to happen.
It's the most adult superhero movie ever made. Comic book movie ever made. The most adult, honest comic book movie ever made.
Pure. You could say Unbreakable, but I think this is more. This is more actually what a comic book tries to achieve, whereas Unbreakable is comic in real life.
Yeah.
It's a different distinction.
Exactly.
Yeah, I give you. Or Dark Knight.
Yeah. Okay. So then my
next?
number 9 is from 2001. Training Day.
Nope.
Not on your list.
Not on my list.
Okay. That's my favorite film of the year. I think my other backup was Royal Tenenbaums from that year.
Okay.
But I really love, I think I give the nod to Training Day because Denzel deservedly won the Oscar for that performance, although he should have won it for Malcolm X.
100%.
I don't
for a number of other things other than this.
Yeah, but I thought he did a great job in this. I liked it. Was almost the rebirth of Ethan Hawke again. People hadn't seen him in forever. To see him coming back to an A-list movie was really great. And I love the underground stuff going on that he was through the whole movie. You're on this. You can't get out. You're in this car with this dude as he tries to slowly walk you into the corruption and the mental like tactics that he's doing the whole time to try to fucking seduce you and force you into being his partner and being as criminal as he is and as crooked as he is, under the guise of everyone does this. This is the only way to survive in this fucking job, that kind of stuff. And then the complexity of the drug deals.
Except that the world is bad.
Right.
And
Except
move forward.
So get what you can while you can and do the deals and whatever. And you see that with Scott Glenn. You see that with the fucking drug dealers that are all this stuff that's going through. And then that whole sequence, that side story with Cliff Curtis playing the fucking gangster.
The little girl.
Yeah, little girl, him saving her. And then the head of the Cholo is about to blow his fucking head off. And
you believe it too.
Yeah, man, you really do.
That part is so terrifying when he comes in and he's just like, all right.
I've been around guys like that. It's scary, dude. You have no idea what they're going to do at any moment. They seem like the nicest person, but they can turn into the most vicious person in the world.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't been around... I've been around some people that afterwards I found out.
Yes.
Hey, it's good that things went positive because that dude is not... But it's pretty rare. I don't...
Yeah.
You know, going into those situations when there's a possibility of running into that.
Yeah.
So I just keep myself out of those situations.
It's a smart move. Me too. A couple of times I found myself around people like that. One time I was in the military with one guy who was in the military. I was like, holy fuck. And another time was just through connections with friends and whatever. And I ended up in this place and I was like, oh yeah, no, I can't. I shouldn't be here, man. This is like really unsettling. So anyway, I love the film a lot, and I think it's not as good obviously because it's number 9 of all those other films, but I think it's a really good film.
Sure.
All right, so my number 8 is from 2003. It is I think the only
Yeah, we don't have the same.
We don't have the same?
That was one of my guaranteed years. We don't have the same. Go ahead.
Okay, fair. Open Range. That's my number. That's my favorite film from that year. It's a Western that a lot of people don't... a lot of people need to go back and really enjoy. You know, Kevin Costner did a fantastic
I haven't seen it
job.
since it came out.
Really?
No.
Oh, man.
It just seems
such a good Western.
I liked it.
Yeah.
But I remember it left me like it didn't leave an indelible mark.
Okay.
That I thought it felt it was going for and accomplished.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
I get what you're saying. It worked for me. I get that it didn't work for like 100%.
It could.
I respect that.
It had the seriousness to where I understood the point it was going for. It just didn't resonate as hard as I think they thought they got to.
Right. I get that. He's an unusual guy. The Kevin Costner character is an unusual guy. And Robert Duvall as well. And the fact that they didn't have any kind of real personal conversations with each other, even though they've ridden for like 5 years together working this job, until this shit starts happening in this town with Michael Gambon playing the head of the villain in essence in the movie. You have Michael Jeter, who was his last film, I think, because he died of cancer shortly after the film. Yeah, he was done. You could tell he's already dying of cancer. You could tell the feebleness.
Just a frail.
Yeah, very frail through the whole film. And then Annette Bening is actually very luminescent in this film as a love interest. So it's an adult love interest story. Like they're all in their 40s or 50s, right? They're just kind of the tail end of their being young, supposedly, and they have.
Well, by frontier standards, they're ancient.
Yeah, that's true. By ancient, you're right.
Yeah.
So
it's a hard life. If you've genuinely been out there for like 20 years, you fled at 18 or 16 or something from the East Coast, and you've been out there now for 25 years. That's a hard fucking, especially if you're alone.
Yep, it's a good point. The practicality of their progression of their relationship is great too, and then what happens piece by piece, and when the final gun battle happens, holy shit, it is fucking great.
Yeah, I mean it was 2003, so that could be a case of like we talked about, I think on Thunderdome this past week, where I saw it as a younger guy, and now as an older one, I would identify with what that struggle would feel like.
Oh yeah, interesting.
So at 2003. That was 15 years ago.
Yeah,
I was a much younger individual. It was my early 20s. I was an idiot. I was a drunk, So you're running around, just having the time of my life.
Yeah. But trust me, it was really hard to choose this film over the film in 2003, the other film that is.
Well, yeah, I didn't choose that one either.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. All right.
That was my guarantee. There is no way he's got that one.
What's your number 7?
Now I'm looking at 2003 to see exactly what you're talking about. I see a couple.
I think you'll know it. All right, what's your number 7?
My number 7 is from 2001. So you did your 2001, right?
I did. It was number 9 for me.
Monsters Incorporated.
Ooh, nice choice.
That was my favorite of the year.
Okay.
That was a year that I only wrote
2007?
2001.
2001, I'm sorry.
At number 7.
At number 7, sorry, yes.
That was the year I wrote down 3 movies.
Wow.
3 movies. That's it. And Monsters Incorporated is the one that I've seen the most. That of those 3, and there are people out there right now that are going banana times because in 2001 something else came out that they all love, and they're not wrong.
Which is
Fellowship of the Ring.
Oh yeah, no, none of those made my list. So.
Well, 2
I hate to break it to you.
2 Towers had a shot, but the year it was up, it's just like, nah, you're losing to this other one.
Yeah.
It was close, but that's my favorite of the 3.
Right.
I like Fellowship, but it's my least favorite of the 3.
Is that the first one?
It's the first one.
Yeah, so fucking boring. Oh.
Well, they got to set up the characters in this huge story to come.
Oh, the first hour, I'm like, oh God.
Yeah, that's what it is. I enjoyed the journey, and I thought they pulled it off masterfully to make the entire world internationally. Like that thing was a huge success.
No doubt. Listen,
introduce.
I'm in the minority. I know that it's a very well respected trilogy, and you're right.
Just got bought by Amazon for $2 billion. What was the billion? It was $1 billion something.
Yeah, they're gonna do a whole thing on that.
To make a TV show out of it. But Monsters Incorporated is the one that I have probably seen the most.
Yeah.
Of any movie that year, it's the one that I look back the most fondly on.
Yeah.
I could still watch it right now if it was on. I think it is just as inventive because the characters seem so genuine and honest. Yeah. And I love that monsters really aren't that bad. To teach the kids, like, the monster is nothing. It's they're actually good people. Don't be fearful of something as simplistic as that. So the beauty of Pixar is they have that for the child to understand. There's the moral of the story. You don't have to be afraid of monsters. Right. Everything is fine. It's okay. Yeah. The world is okay. It's not a frightful place.
Right.
And still have the action and the story and the jokes that work for a kid, but for the adults, there's this entire other story about who Mike is, and is this all he wants to be, and Sully, and actually the structure of this entire business is predicated upon a faulty, reality. Once they figure out that laughter actually generates more electricity,
right,
or their version of electricity, but basically power. Yeah. But I think the inventiveness of it, the use of like a villain that can be invisible, voiced by Steve Buscemi, is a great character, and they have this like CIA hidden cell type of thing, and it's the old lady that you keep running into,
Roz.
the slow slug, Roz. Thank you. I just over and over and over, I love every choice they made. When the one monster comes back and he's got a sock attached to him, and they've just some whatever reason you can't bring something back from our world into theirs, it's contaminated.
Right.
So they put a curtain around him and they shave him down and they sanitize him. It's like the beginning of Shawshank when he gets thrown.
yeah.
What is it, lye or something?
Yeah.
It's not. I don't think it's lye because that's what you put on a body to help it decompose.
Well, man.
It's some sort of disinfectant to kill all parasites on you and then spray them down. It's the equivalent of that. I think they come in with like a flamethrower and flame them down and shit. But just over and over. And when they pulls it off, then he realizes nude. Here's a joke for kids, and he like covers himself really quickly, and he feels embarrassed. And kids like they laugh at that.
Yeah.
It still makes you smile as an adult.
Sure.
But they had all the other like sub references of what this is. Just the craftsmanship and the years that it took to put into it. I think it's absolutely fantastic. So
I agree with you, and it's a very sweet story, dude. It's very like her connection with the John Goodman character, Boo, and right, with John Goodman's character, Mike and Sully, right?
Yeah.
Mike and Sully, and all of that, and and it's universal in that way. Like everyone has. Like you can understand that friend who wants to be as good as the other friend, right? It's like everyone loves you more. Why do they love you more? What is it about me that they don't love? Blah blah blah. And it's just a personality thing. It's just the way you're constructed, And who knows? And that's why Monsters University is so much fun to go and watch because you see the genesis of their personalities and their friendship.
Yeah.
And so it's great to see that. So that when you see Monsters Inc. now kind of in reverse, you're like, oh, Mike is going through one of these things again, and so it totally works.
It's also, I like it because the growth and maturation of Mike overall.
Yeah.
Eventually he realizes that the only person's approval, like he wants to be Sully because he thinks like, oh, that's great. Everybody loves you and you're the notoriety because he's so excited when he's on something, but his face gets covered. Just the idea that he's on the commercial or something.
Yeah.
And it gets covered up like, oh, look at me. But ultimately, like once he sees what Sully sees in him and what his girlfriend sees in him, sees himself for his true self, like the growth within that to teach your kids. Once again, but it's a good lesson for adults as well.
Yep.
Like, look, believe in yourself.
Yep.
Figure out and try and be the best you can be. That's all anybody can be. You'll find it, happiness as best as we understand it.
Exactly.
That's the easiest path too. Anyway, so that was my number 7.
Yeah,
my number 6 is from 2002.
Oh, damn it. Okay.
The Bourne Identity.
That's my number 5.
Okay.
So we can talk about it, right?
Yeah, we'll talk about it
close?
right here. Or we can punt if you want and we go over your side of the list.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about it.
It's close enough. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So we're one difference between these two.
That's not bad.
I figured that one and potentially 2 to 3 others were my guesses.
Yeah, I would
2 to
think
3
so.
others.
I would think so. What a good film.
Yeah, Matt Damon went from dude who looked like he could do my taxes and do them well
Yeah.
to, oh, my sweet Jesus, that dude is a fucking machine killer, brainwashed by the CIA, and it is so real. It gives you pause, and pause enough to think, I wonder if there's anything remotely close in operation right now. Like
Yeah.
that.
Sure.
I'm sure we have super like assassin cells,
Yeah.
just all around the world, and no one's ever going to be that good.
Right.
But how good are they?
Yeah.
What is the level? Is it more like Clive Owen? Is it more like, the guy? Well, there's also the dude that swings into his apartment and whatnot.
Yeah.
Jams that pin in between his knuckles. That still makes me cringe. Just the visual of that. You see that, you're like, oh, how debilitating. That takes away that entire hand.
Yeah.
Now, you could use the elbow and stuff, but handgun until you pull that out. Oh, it's just brutal.
Yeah.
But yeah, Matt Damon, it goes beyond just a simple action because of all the political, and makes you think about like the basically where our tentacles go in this world.
Yeah.
How deep is our reach? How devious are we getting?
Yeah.
Is it like The Rock, and we have a slush fund to pay for all this covert operations, and is that slush fund then fed in by illegal drug sales that we're part of, or arms sales that we're part of, or what? What exactly? Where are we getting this money?
Yeah.
Where are we siphoning it from the tax base? It takes numerous concepts and puts it under the guise of spy action film.
And obviously these are based on Robert Ludlum's books, and Franca Potent is fantastic in this movie as his love interest.
Never would have pulled her in.
Yeah, well, as I like to Run Lola Run.
Run Lola,
great in that film, and but Damon, you're right. I mean, it is an interesting progression as an actor, right? Because you have him being the jerk in School Ties, with Brendan Fraser and all that. And then he does Good Will Hunting, which is really incredible. So it gives you a window into the possibility that he could be more than just like a pretty boy actor. There's more here.
But he played people.
Right, exactly. And that's the thing. And so when he goes progress like through Talented Mr. Ripley, and then boom, and then you get this, and then you're like, oh fuck, this is something else completely. So you're right. This idea, it's basically his move into adulthood as an actor. Like, this is a man to be taken seriously as an actor, and he will bring weight to this role. And something like Born Identity, which is really fantastic, so much so that it influenced the new James Bond, the Daniel Craig James Bond. It completely changed
and
it.
Taken and just about everything Liam Neeson has done, like that fighting style,
exactly,
is now a staple of action because it looks somewhat plausible.
Yeah.
It looks like, you know what? Hypothetically, that does look real.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody could be that quick to guess out all the odds, but the way you're setting it up, it's a very Jackie Chan, if you're going to throw 8 people at me at once, and how they're all coming. Because sometimes when you watch, especially movies from like 80s and early to mid 90s, there'll be a crowd around and they all take turns coming at. Like, that doesn't make any fucking sense.
Right, exactly.
Once you get old enough, like, that doesn't work anymore. Whereas in these newer worlds, it might be 6 people, but one got knocked down, this one's running in, and these dudes ran into each other. Like, you have to make the action around them more kinetic and real.
Right.
That the chaos is real.
And that's what I enjoyed about the Atomic Blonde scene when they had the fight on the stairs.
I loved it.
Holy fuck, that was
that whole
great.
fight that she does and they get exhausted.
Incredible. It's real. One of the realest fights you'll ever see.
For his the same style, with his super, everybody's really good at 17 different forms of martial arts. Like, I know jiu-jitsu and Krav Maga and this and this tumbling version and this, or grappling rather, and blah, 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 blah. I don't know that world that well. But to see them like actually get tired in Atomic Blonde, like it just takes so long and there is no side, you're both hurt, and it's just who can come out on top.
Yeah.
Who's going to get
extra oomph?
That tiny little bit when the moment is right.
Yeah, but this is so much fun too because of the mystery of it all, right? He's trying to remember who he is.
Yeah, the amnesia.
Yeah, all of it, and you're so invested because when like the first time he realizes he's like a trained killer, it's a surprise to him as well. Like, he's like, oh shit, I can do all this stuff. And then eventually,
it's muscle memory.
Yeah, muscle memory, exactly. And at piece by piece, he starts to remember and put it all together. It's really, really interesting. Doug Liman did a great job directing this one. It's really like, it's a guy who did Swingers. So you're like, wow, this guy can really do these kinds of things. So absolutely thoroughly enjoyed that.
Yeah, and the style, the cinematography, it fits the movie really well. Plus, it's a nice use of what the technology was at the time with getting access to like CCTV feeds and all that stuff, trying to hunt down some. Do they have some facial recognition software in that one? I knew they do it later.
Yeah,
I'm starting to blank. I just remember that alleyway scene when he's by the embassy.
Right.
And anyway, with the cameras and whatnot. But that was my number 6. So what do you got at 7?
My number 7. Where are you at? Number 7. Oh, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. That's my number 7.
From what year?
2000. The year 2000.
Okay.
Yeah, I really wanted to put this one up a little bit higher. And initially I thought I would, but as I was doing the list, I realized and went back and watched this recently, actually. It's a beautiful film. And I
haven't seen this thing in years.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Years.
It's one I definitely go back to, but it's losing its effect on me year after year after year. It's
still your number 1 then?
No, it was
for this year. That's what I'm saying. Of this year, it's still
that year,
even though it's losing, because there's a few on that list who are like, wow, it's going to come down to a rewatchability for me. Because that's coming up shortly for me.
Well, listen, Gladiator's that year. Gladiator was very much in contention for me up until
save that noise.
I'm just saying it was in contention for me. But when I look, I just enjoy something about Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon a little more. Maybe it's because I do like the Asian cultures more, like the sword play, all that kind of stuff I really enjoy. And the story is such an unusual type of story that I haven't seen before. And the way Ang Lee directs this kind of story is very... At the same time, it is honest and brutal, but also beautiful and poetry-like. Elegiac is the word I would use. And so I just enjoy that about the film. But it's losing its effect on me. So it's still my favorite film of that year, and I will defend it. But overall, that's why it's lower on the list, because it's not as powerful as it used to be.
Look, I'd love to help you sing the praises of it, but what I remember of it is just like the big scenes now.
Yeah.
That's kind of all that stuck with me. I haven't seen it in so long.
Well, Chow Yun-fat is great. Michelle Yeoh. I mean, that's even more. And I just have a thing for that. And maybe because I'm a terrible romantic, but I have a thing for unrequited love. Like, Remains of the Day is still one of my favorite motherfucking films, and they never get together.
Way to prove your manhood by one of my favorite motherfucking films. I'm still a man.
I'm just saying. I wasn't trying to do
Fuck you. I love Remains of the Day.
It's a good film.
Turn into Eddie Murphy. Hey, man. The fuck you talking about, motherfucker?
That motherfucker's blind, man. That ain't
Yeah.
funny. That shit ain't funny. Fulfin it. Fuck it, you know the good one. But like the thing with them together,
Motherfucker punch you in the mouth.
those things of them together in they never get a chance to be together, Chow Yun-fat and Michelle Yeoh, because of the rules of that society. She had been his master's lover or wife rather, and his master died. They had fallen in love while the master was still alive. When the master dies, they cannot consummate their relationship as much as they're in love with each other. They can't. So they don't go off with other people.
Okay.
They just stay around each other and in a way have a relationship without having a relationship. And then you throw in the young girl who's Zhang Zi, I think her name is, and everything she goes through because she's the more modern version and what she's doing and all of that. So to me, it's an interesting, fun, I mean, not fun, but just an interesting film that has a lot more weight to it than people think. So
Okay.
All right, so then my number 6 is from 2005. Syriana. That's my favorite film of that year.
Okay.
George Clooney.
It made my list of potentials.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple years have, but I mean, that year was like, okay, what are we talking about here?
Yeah.
Yeah. What is that? 40-Year-Old Virgin. It was like, I've seen 40-Year-Old more than Syriana.
Right.
I actually went back and revisited it because of you.
Oh, Syriana.
Yep.
Right. But you enjoyed it.
No, I liked it at the time, but
Yeah.
I didn't remember it as crisply as you did when you brought it up. So I was
Yeah.
like, I'm going to go back and rewatch that. And be like, yeah, it is. The complexity of the story, the way it interweaves, all the different moving parts. It's good.
Just really fun. And then you don't know who's where. And it really explores this idea of a suicide bomber. What does this mean? Where does it go? What is the implications? How can we can't just paint it with a broad brushstroke.
How are we complicit in this situation?
Exactly.
And from what angles? Actually,
Yes.
more than one.
Right.
Seems like it's several if you want to include the private sector as well.
Exactly. So this whole idea that it's all
yeah.
black and white is fucking ridiculous.
Well,
and I love this series.
That we're Robin Hood.
Yeah.
Just like, really? Because if they were over here fucking with us as much as we were over there, we would hate them just as much as they hate us.
Absolutely.
I hate the fact that there's that much friction to the point where both sides feel like this is the only outcome that can be reached.
Yeah.
And I understand both, like from their perspective, especially like kids. I grew up in this, and you've always been here doing this, and I've been taught that you're not ever going to be my friend. You're always, even if you seem like you're being my friend, you're going to try and fuck me over. So I can't trust you. And you're
Right.
like, yeah, if you're taught that from day one, man, that's powerful shit.
Exactly. Well, Clooney's great in this film, and what he goes through the whole progression of the film is really incredible. I mean, I think he won the Oscar for this Best Supporting Actor, I think, because it was an ensemble piece.
Yeah.
This is like a Clooney that you've never seen before, and I don't think we've seen since, to be honest with you.
I'd have to look at his filmography.
Just for me, he's so dialed into this role and the hangdog inevitability of it, even within this, even though he's doing these kind of ruthless things, cruel things at the beginning because of in-service, the CIA, he's working all these sides, covert operations, whatever, he still has a nobility to him that by the end, when what happens to him, you're still devastated by it. And then you have this other side storyline with Matt Damon and everything he's going through with the oil prices, exploring that. Then Jeffrey Wright on the other side with Christopher Plummer, all this.
Well, it's not even. Yeah. It's Matt Damon coming in and saying, listen, the way you do things here is just going to bankrupt you and everybody in this country in 100 years.
Right.
Once this oil dries up, if you guys don't start investing in different technologies and diversifying your portfolio, in essence, you're fucked.
And they don't want to. Initially,
it's an easy lifestyle.
Right, because he thinks he's got the right son of the
to finally influence.
Yeah, and then
American companies don't want that.
Yeah.
So
there you go. And that's why I think a lot of people have an aversion to Syriana, because it really exposes the ugly underbelly of what we've done in this country sometimes through our policies for decades in the Middle East.
It's like what we did in Iran. There was a democratically elected leader.
Right.
The CIA went and helped get rid of him to put in a guy that was more favorable to us, and then he got overthrown because the people were pissed off by the Shah.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, for every action, there's a reaction.
Of course.
They elected him, and they were fine with that choice. Let them ride out their democracy.
Yeah.
It's back when they meddled, too much. All the banana republics we had in South America.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we were. It was early nation building.
Study your history, man.
The idea of nations was a new idea.
Yeah.
On that level, on an international, we could actually affect somebody across an ocean.
Yeah.
That's a modern invention.
Yep. That's interesting. All right, so what's your number 5?
5 is Gladiator, which should have been your winner for 2000. Let's be perfectly honest. When you brought it up, this is a rewatchability. Because within that year, there was, I think, 3 vying for.
Oh, yeah?
Let's see, Castaway, Oh Brother, and Best in Show.
Oh Brother was really
Those are my
hard.
4, and I'm like, what am I talking about here? Best in Show, I think I've seen the most.
Yeah.
But Gladiator, I think I'll hold on to the longest.
Yeah.
It's just, we've talked about it.
Yeah.
And any movie show out there has talked about it. Because it's amazing. It's we did Sword and Sandals for Matthew Hasso.
That's right.
Not long ago. And that's one of the few modern Sword and Sandals that made the list.
Yeah.
Because everything else it's a genre for whatever reason. It doesn't get done all that often, or if it does get done, it doesn't succeed as well as people would hope. Just a big epic, but shit, man, I want to see more of those. I want to see more of Roman life. What was that like?
Yeah.
An early version of what we understand a society to be, this huge monolithic force that has a massive military structure and politics and diplomacy and trade and business. Like, there's endless stories here.
Yeah.
But instead we get, Pompeii. You're like, well, guys, this fucking sucks. This sucks.
Yeah, that's a B movie and a half.
And Pompeii is probably the singularly most interesting thing I saw in Italy. Being there for a month.
Yeah.
That was the one, because it's a snapshot of what life was like on some level that day when God decided to pee in their Cheerios.
Yeah.
It just...
Basically.
Luck of the draw, and unfortunately, all their tickets were purchased that day.
Yeah.
And you see it, and you're like, this is fascinating.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Oh, the reason the roads are so gouged out and the sidewalk is so high is because people dump their shit right out on the road. And here were the natural drains. And you're like, man, this is brutal. This is brutal. But at the same time, it's fascinating. We found a pizza oven. We took a picture of my wife leaning into it, but it's the same construction.
Right.
And we found several of them, but this one was immaculate.
How funny.
And like, you could fire this up today.
Yeah.
You could fire this up and make a decent pizza right now.
Wow.
Yeah. And they made it to, they used it for bread. This was a baker.
Yeah.
And it was just like, wow, this is fascinating. But Sword and Sandal, you don't go back to. Whereas Gladiator, fuck, man, I want to see more of that world. Mm-hmm. Well, what was Marcus Aurelius like when he was younger?
Right.
Like, what was his rise like? That seems like an interesting character to follow, and why he feels flawed.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go back. There's a million stories to tell.
Why was he such a beloved emperor and that kind of thing?
Yeah, which is a difficult position, and what compels him to turn it back into a senate?
Yeah.
A republic, rather.
Right.
A voice of the people as opposed to the voice of the one individual.
Well, I don't deny. Obviously, I don't deny Gladiator is a fantastic film. I mean, I think we're about to release an episode of it for the Cinephiles that we broke it down over 2.5 hours. So it's an incredible film.
It is. It's beautiful.
So, I totally have. It was a struggle not to make it my favorite film, but in the end, there's just some things about it that don't 100% still like the whole. Connie Nielsen relationship with Joaquin, all of that is a little weird. But have you ever heard the theory? I guess.
Yeah, you told me.
Okay, so
your friend told you that he's dead after that point.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it since we had that discussion, but I've seen it probably I don't even know how many times.
Yeah. So anyway, all right. So that's your number 5, right?
Yeah, that was my 5.
Okay,
what you got?
Okay. We're going one up. Okay, it's been a long time. Number 5.
It's been a week.
I already said my number 5. 2002.
Oh, okay.
So what's your number 4?
My number 4 is this is one I knew that you weren't going to have. 2003, The Fog of War.
Ooh,
the documentary.
The doc about McNamara. Mm-hmm. Nice, dude.
I just find it fascinating.
It is a fascinating doc.
For those of you that haven't seen it, Robert McNamara was the Secretary of Defense, or no, he's the Secretary of State rather.
Yeah.
During the Nixon administration.
Yep.
And through the Kennedy administration, and through, was it LBJ's too? Yeah, LBJ's, and then into Nixon. Mm-hmm. He was also around for World War II and the fire bombings that we did there. And I didn't know the depth of that, how much we'd actually done to Japan.
Yeah.
The amount of destruction that we thought we did with Hiroshima and Nagasaki, we did more with firebombing because their cities were made of wood. So we just firebomb. We were talking about like hundreds of thousands dead here. And it just goes through and he talks about, I've never heard someone from that position be so honest.
Yeah.
Like he's not 100% honest because no one is entirely with themselves. They still want to paint like, trust me, you don't understand. At that time, it was like this. But he takes blame and culpability for things that I've never heard an official on that level. It'd be like Kissinger saying, I screwed this up. Or if you want to look at it like this, yes, this happened. And when he's talking about like the fire bombings, had we not won, I'd be a war criminal.
Yeah.
And it would have been me at Nuremberg.
Right.
Like, yeah. You know, the victors write history. And it's just absolutely fascinating. It is one of, hands down, my favorite docs of all time. It's one of my like digitals that I go back to all the time. I can pop that on whenever.
I remember that it got a lot of controversy when it came out because a lot of people who had survived the Vietnam War and had lived through the Vietnam War were upset at McNamara now finally admitting all the things that they had accused him of.
Yeah,
and that
all the things that are
he
obvious.
had denied and said it didn't happen. He finally had to admit that all this stuff happened. So they were extremely pissed at him for doing that. And so there's the documentary is a very honest, like Matt said, as honest as you can be, but it's a stark portrayal of how we handle and carried out American policy through decades in Southeast Asia and other places, and how it colored how we carried out our policies in other areas of the world as well. So it's an enlightening documentary, if nothing else, and it may make you very uncomfortable, but the truth sometimes can be that way.
Okay.
So, yeah.
It was under, I just wanted to look it up, Kennedy and Johnson.
Yeah.
And it was defense. It was my first.
Secretary of Defense?
Yeah.
Right.
It was my first. I just can't remember if it was state or. Anyway. Yeah. So if you've never seen it, it's what? Errol Morris.
Errol Morris.
And it's just a simple conversation. It is basically almost practically a lock shot on McNamara as Morris is asking him questions off camera.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't hear the question, but more often, the number of times you hear Errol Morris. What about this in this context? Why did this? Because you could tell he had done his research and came to natural questions.
Yep. And McNamara was willing to talk about it.
Yeah, just to sit there and talk about it. It's utterly fascinating to watch.
Yeah, someday Cheney will do that.
So that was my 4. Never happened. It will never happen.
That's right. So my number 4 is 2006, Casino Royale.
Okay, good call.
Yeah.
Good call.
I absolutely love that film, man. And, revitalizing a 25-year-old franchise was really something, especially coming out. Nothing against Pierce Brosnan or Timothy Dalton, but
Dalton I like, but didn't, the stories were okay.
Yeah.
Pierce Brosnan, they just got so ridiculous. It was the worst of Roger Moore to me. I stopped enjoying him at all.
Wow.
I don't care for Goldeneye. I don't care for any of them. I think they're all mediocre.
Really?
Yep. Even though I think Pierce Brosnan fits the mental image.
He's a great James Bond.
Of James Bond.
Yeah.
I wish they had given him something better.
Yeah.
But it's all ridiculous.
He doesn't have a Skyfall. He doesn't have a Skyfall.
No. Or a Casino Royale. He doesn't have anything that's real.
Yeah.
It's all ridiculous. We have a stupid gadget and then we get to do this, or he's kite surfing in Antarctica as a laser beam from the fucking stratosphere is firing down. It creates a huge wave, and it was like, it's all just ridiculous after ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I understand it kind of started like that, but at that point in time, it seemed so pathetic.
Yeah. Well, I remember that World Is Not Enough. That was the one with Robert Carlyle and
which one was
Sophie
the one
Marceau?
with he was basically doing Rupert Murdoch. But they had the boat.
Oh, Jonathan
Pryce?
Pryce, yes. Tomorrow Never Dies.
Yeah, but he was basically a newspaper.
Yeah.
And he was trying to create headlines to shift political run.
Yeah.
It was so dumb.
With Michelle Yeoh, I remember that one, And then there was a terrible one with Halle Berry, which was fucking horrible. I hated that one. So anyway, Casino Royale comes out, like, nobody knows what to expect. They don't know Daniel Craig. He's playing bit parts like Road to Perdition. Other films, he did just smaller parts, so nobody knew what to expect from him. He was the last choice anybody saw coming.
Yeah,
there was
assume you go with the name.
other people. Yeah, Clive Owen was in consideration at this time. There was a number of English actors who were in consideration at this time for the part. Daniel Craig, and he gets into this incredible shape. I remember they released that picture of him walking out of the water in those light blue swim trunks and the abs and shit, people going insane. And so piece by piece, and then he comes and he is this brutal brutal Bond, and I couldn't believe it. And what we referenced earlier, Bourne Identity influenced that. You wanted to see a violent Bond, more brutal Bond. Our approach to the world, our knowledge of the world was different, and our tolerance for violence as an audience, movie-going audience, had risen. So we could see this kind of Bond, and this is the more accurate Ian Fleming Bond that had ever been seen on screen. This kind of
I've never read any of the books.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. This is the original James Bond. He's a very vicious, ruthless guy who gets to what he gets to. The mission is what matters. But throwing in this love story, which is really, it's so ironic that in these other films with these more Lothario-type Bonds like Sean Connery, like Pierce Brosnan, you don't have this love story that goes over 4 fucking films because of the attraction he has for Vesper Lynn, I think her name is. He has
I don't remember,
sex with these other women, but like his love is Eva Green, the Eva Green character from the
I don't remember her name. I remember like Le Chiffre.
Yeah, Le Chiffre, right.
Mads Mikkelsen.
Right. Who's
and Jeffrey Wright is in it.
Yeah, Jeffrey Wright is the American guy. Yeah.
Yeah, just once I see Skyfall, just like, well, shit, that's my favorite. That's why.
That's the best Bond ever.
Exactly. That's why it was like, well, in that year, I'll take the other just because that's my favorite Bond now.
I respect that.
Yeah. Other people say this. I think most people actually, at least of our listeners, say this.
Oh, really? Interesting. No, I love this one too, but Skyfall's still the better one. But all of the progression and his embracing of the role, right? And then you have Judi Dench as M. What her relationship is
nice
with
little
him.
twist.
Yeah, exactly.
But it doesn't feel cheap.
No, it doesn't, right? Not at all. And you still have the Quartermain Q is still there. And so you have all that. But it all still works so much so that by the end, when all the twists and turns happen and the betrayals and all this kind of stuff, like you really feel it, man. It's really a journey of a movie that by the end, you're just like exhausted and you feel for and that he's standing above by the end is fucking great, dude. So anyway, I love that film. All right.
That was your 4?
That is my 4.
My number 3 is 2004 Anchorman.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Not sure.
It is 2004, but it isn't that one.
Oh, let me go back. I'm going to go look and see. So your number 3 is also 2004?
It is.
All right. I see. I have a guess as to yours.
Yeah. I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. To this motherfucking guess.
Look, Anchorman is endlessly rewatchable.
It really is. I don't deny that.
That's why it's the best. Best on some levels. Like, I'm never going to get tired of that movie.
Yeah.
I've seen it enough times now where it does not matter. I still enjoy it.
Oh, yeah.
It was on repeat. It was part of my box of DVDs when I didn't have cable for whatever that span was, 3 years or something.
Yeah.
This was one of my, I don't know how many DVDs. And trust me, Anchorman got a lot of play. So did another one that got nixed off in another year, Old School. I came close on Old School, but I was it's not quite.
Nope.
Whereas Anchorman and like 40-Year-Old, I've seen those movies. So many, but Anchorman, you've truly announced Will Ferrell to me as this dude is brilliant.
Yeah.
This dude is brilliant. He's taking a one-note character and somehow making it in like the notes keep coming.
Yeah.
You think it's only like just false bravado. Mm-hmm. That's all it is. He's bullshitting, but he thinks he's getting away with it, and he also thinks he's really, because everybody fawns over him, he thinks his bullshit is real.
Yeah.
He buys into it. And he actually, anytime he gets confronted, he's utterly flustered because everything in his life is just easy street for some reason.
Right.
Somehow he got to this position of being an anchorman in San Diego, the cushiest job in the entire world.
Yeah.
And across the board.
Yeah.
I love it so much. Like I think the Steve Carell audition for this movie should have been in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Where he's eating a burrito out of the trash and he's holding like a conversation. And I think at one point he's like, coffee grounds are in it. And the character right there is fully realized.
Yeah.
That's what it is in the movie. You're like, wow. His first reading that we're seeing, at least, I don't know how many other, but usually you put the first one on tape to see what you got. First reading, and you're like, you already got it.
Yeah.
You already had this character.
Yeah, so perfect.
Yeah, the others may have evolved. Like, you can see pieces of Paul Rudd, and you can see pieces of Brick Tamlin.
The Champ Kind?
Champ Kind.
Yeah,
not Brick Tamlin.
David Keckner. Keckner, yeah.
Couldn't think of Keckner. I was like, Kendrick, Swimmy, Swammy, Samsonite.
Whammy. Yeah, great stuff. And then Christina Applegate comes in there and throws her whole world into disarray. in such a believable, funny, and interesting way. Because Christina gives as good as she gets, man. That's the thing about her as an actress. Like, whatever you want to say, she works in these comedies because she gives as good as she gets. She's willing to be the foil and also willing to come out on top. So she's great at it. And the back and forth with them on the fucking news set when they're calling each other names and doing the things they're doing to try to screw each other. Oh my God, it's so brilliant, because they have this love story initially and then all this shit goes wrong.
And the insults are like, you have bad hair, and that is a cardinal sin.
What did you say?
Yeah. Right before, or he'll read anything that you put on the prompter.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself, San Diego. And the idea that San Diego as a community watched the news that religiously, that they were all mortified.
Yeah.
Like that pierced their soul collectively. Whereas I lived there for long enough, like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Maybe the news didn't have the sway that it once did.
But a little girl comes up to him and goes, "You'd be ashamed of yourself, Bromberg. You're ashamed." It's so funny. But the whole thing with Jack, that whole sequence with Jack Black with Baxter.
For no reason.
Oh, brilliant. Just brilliant.
For no reason. The fight, and then that escalated quickly. Like you cut away from it just as quickly as you cut to it. Milk was a bad choice. I've used that with two of my buddies where, like, when something is a bad choice, you say that. Oh, milk was a bad choice. And all the others that you've heard a million times. Whale's vagina. I'm in a glass case of emotion.
Very funny.
Just over and over and over.
Even jumping into the bear pit when he's just
I immediately regret this decision. I've said that before.
Yes.
Where he's just like, oh my God, this was dumb. Why did I do this?
Oh my God. And her scream is great when she finds herself in the bear pit, when he pushes her over Vince Vaughn.
Yeah,
is it
shot.
Or is it Owen? Is it Owen who pushes her over?
Oh, no, it's a nicer. Yeah.
It's Luke Wilson. It's Luke Wilson, right? The guy who was missing the arm. He pushes her over.
No,
or was it? Oh no, it was Tim Robbins.
Yeah, it was somebody who was nice.
Robbins.
Yeah, PBS.
Right.
We stand up for women kind of thing, and then nudges her right out of the way. Ultimately, they may be enlightened, but it's still, what is it, the 70s?
It's still the 70s, right?
So,
and then she's like, she can't even scream. But all of it is just really, really funny. So, and then the whole interaction with him and Vince Vaughn, I mean, just hilarious. Dorothy Mantooth is a saint, all that stuff. So,
God damn it, do I respect you? Out of nowhere, for some reason, the characters need to have, build a bridge suddenly between them. They've got to come together for no reason.
And they're the brothers for some reason.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It just, you know what? If we're going to be ridiculous, let's just build on the ridiculousness.
Yeah.
Let's just keep going.
Totally great. That was your number 3?
Yep.
All right, so my number 3, same year, 2004, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
That was my guess.
Yeah, dude.
That was my guess.
That film still works for me, still resonates with me. Just powerful stuff from Jim Carrey and Kate Winslet. And I forget the director's name. Oh, Michel Gondry. Never did another film that even came close to this for me. And
what else did he do?
Science of Sleep. I think he did City of Lost Children, or either that's him or Jeannot. And he did something else, and I can't remember before he got.
Who's in City of Lost
Sunshine.
Children?
Nobody that you would probably know. If you remember the guy in the wheelchair in Alien 4, the French dude.
I'm sure if I saw him.
Yeah.
But just off of that,
weird-looking face. Let's see. Shit. What did he do before Eternal Sunshine, which is 2004 or 2004? So he'd done a bunch of music videos. That's what he's really known for before he did that movie. Yeah, he did a bunch of White Stripes videos, Chemical Brothers, Massive Attack, Radiohead. He did a film called Human Nature, I think is with, was that Patricia Arquette? Yeah, Patricia Arquette, Human Nature, which is a weird little film. But yeah, and then after that, he really didn't do much else he did Dave Chappelle's Block Party. He directed that for some reason. That's a weird thing that he directed.
Sure.
Yeah, I did Science of Sleep. Then he went back to doing music videos. Then he did Be Kind, Rewind. That Jack Black.
That actually made, what year did that come out? I just wrote it down because I was going, I enjoyed that movie.
Do you really?
Thoroughly when it came out.
2008. Yeah.
2008. It never had a shot.
No.
But I wrote it down literally just to remind myself later, hey, I should rewatch that again sometime soon.
And then he did the Green Hornet, the Seth Rogen Green Hornet.
Ooh.
That's a weird little choice. But not much else, man. Just some shorts and music videos. So it's an interesting career he's got. But this film nailed it. Just this idea. And it's such a simple idea that probably all of us have had at some point whenever we've had our heart broken, is that how can I erase this person? I want to be over the breakup and through it already. And what's the easiest way to get there? Oh, yeah, we can do this. We can erase your memory of the person.
Erase the pain.
Yeah, erase the pain so you don't have to remember this person all the time or what they did to you or any of that bullshit. And so to me, the film was so novel in that way, but still romantic because you have to catch up. Like, where is stuff occurring? Because in the beginning of the movie, it's like he's going off to Montauk, and what is this weird and then it cuts to the credits, and the credits are after the breakup, and he's driving the car, listening to the song about her, and he throws it out the window, and it's raining, and what is that? And then so you're going back and forth the whole time, and then when the memories start getting erased, it's so inventive how it's done.
Yeah, just pulling out a frame.
Yeah,
kind of shit.
And then like him trying to hide her in all these different places, because no matter how much you might want to forget someone, there's still good memories. There's still a reason you love that person. And so to erase the memory of them also erases all the good memories of them
and the
great stuff you had.
It robs you of part of your humanity.
Yes.
Because if you don't have that, that helps create a multifaceted individual as having gone through and experienced all these different things in life.
Right.
So you take that away, you need to experience it anew to understand what that feeling was like.
Exactly.
Because all feeling and emotion is complex given the nature of the factors that go into creating it.
Right. Right.
Hence why Inside Out should have been on this list. If only it was within the years.
But yeah, all of that, and then at the end, this whole idea that like we're going to repeat the same mistakes again when they finally realize that their memories had been erased of each other. So we're going to keep repeating the same mistakes again. What's the point? And it's like, well, no, there is a point because we're destined, and so maybe this time it'll work out. And so that's kind of brilliant. And so there's so much going on in this film. And I know we don't have a lot of time to go into all these films now as we get to the end, but like this film, if you haven't seen Eternal Sunshine, I cannot oversell it. This is not Jim Carrey, Ace Ventura, Jim Carrey. This is
this is
right.
He was doing serious acting, and a lot of people didn't want to give him credit for how good he could pull it off.
Yeah, absolutely. And this film really does.
Yeah. He's got a few like shit, man. I don't mind The Majestic.
Yeah, I like The Majestic.
Yeah.
It's a bit schmaltzy, but it's fucking good.
It is.
Yep, absolutely.
But it gets to that ending and the exposition that he has to go through. Just like, I buy this 100%.
Yeah.
It's a little, kind of like Pleasantville is real type of vibe to this small town that they're doing on some level. But
it's a little Capra-esque.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I don't fault it for that. And I thought he was great in it.
Yeah, he is.
A lot of people were like, oh, this fucking, ham-fisted, trying to go for all the orchestral moments.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't think it was.
Yeah.
I think it was genuinely trying to be honest.
I agree. Laurie Holden was good in that film too.
My number 2.
Yes.
2008.
Okay. Yes.
That's your number 2? The Dark Knight.
Dark Knight. Yeah. Absolutely.
Listen. We've talked about this. Like, this doesn't ever need to come.
We've talked all around this. Yeah.
We don't. This never needs to come up on a Thunderdome ever.
Yeah. I mean, seriously.
The veto thing we brought up the other day, that applies to Dark Knight. Unless in 5 years somehow we haven't had a list, we start just excluding this from lists.
Just for the hell of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because in that year, that was the best movie that I saw.
Absolutely, man.
Absolutely floored and riveted by it the entire time. Blown away by the type of story that you could tell under the guise of simple comic book premise, and it transcends that. That's why some people feel that it's not a comic book movie, because really it's a heist film, it's a crime film, it's a sure, but at the same time you do have a guy in a cape who's a billionaire, has all these amazing toys, against this kind of supervillain, in essence, in Joker, who manages to take out and organize crime seemingly so easily that you could only attribute that to some mad villain type of individual.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those people, I don't know that they exist in real life.
No, it's an incredible film too, because Heath Ledger, nobody expected him to play it or be good at it, and he was incredible. That scene, the interrogation scene, is one of the greatest scenes you'll ever see on film, both acting-wise and dialogue-wise. And then how the twist happens that was so incredible about the film, is that he may not have been what you would thought of as the Joker, and he may not have been Christian Bale, who you thought of for Batman, but when their personalities meet up, it's believable. And when in that interrogation scene, that's exactly what the Joker would do. The Joker would steal both of those people, put them in two separate places, then lie to you about the one that you love the most.
Because you knew
you'd do it.
He tried to be altruistic.
Yep.
And Joker's just trying to teach that life is chaos.
Right.
There is no meaning to any of this.
Yeah.
That's why he lights the money on fire.
Yeah.
I do this not for that, I get pleasure out of the other.
Exactly.
I am, as much as that's why the beautiful yin and yang of him and Batman. Batman wants nothing more than order because he lost his parents.
Right.
And he wants the world to make sense. And we all play by the rules and we do things the right way. And nobody has to live through this. And Joker's like, the world doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
It works in the complete opposite. It's chaos and it's out to get you at all times.
That's why that scene is to me, is the fulcrum of the movie, because he says to him, don't talk like them. You're not like them, even though you'd like to be.
Yeah.
You're not like them.
Yeah.
You know, you're free, and they'll turn you out.
And that's
second.
why I'm here right now.
Yeah.
It's because I know you're not like that, and you're more like me than you care to admit.
Exactly.
And I'm fine with that because, I'm a little out there.
Right.
And you're just, you don't want to believe that you're partially crazy.
Yeah.
And you have to be to do what you're doing.
And you don't want to believe that the society that you're trying to save is deeply flawed. So this order that you're trying to put into them, they will undercut that order every chance they get.
Every time. Ra's al Ghul tried to teach him the same thing.
Exactly.
Just a different lesson, but the outcome is the same. And Joker's just more effective in the simplicity of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what makes it more maniacal. It's like, this, you could possibly do this.
The best villains are the villains that you see logic to their lunacy or to their villainy. You're like, oh, I could see that. I get it a little bit.
Even in the absurdity of it, it's just like, well, I mean, your rationale, if you want to look at the world through that prism, then you're not wrong.
Yeah.
I just choose not to. We share a different, some men just like to watch the world burn.
Yeah, such a great line.
I think Joker's more akin to saying the world is going to burn.
Yeah.
Whether or not I help it, it'll still happen.
Right. But he needs Batman to stop him every time.
Yeah, he does.
Enjoys the cat and mouse
He
game,
wants to be stopped.
Yeah.
He just doesn't want to, he doesn't want to be stopped from playing.
Right.
It's just, okay, I got to scheme and come up with a different one.
Yeah.
That's why Joker's the best villain, in my opinion.
Agreed. All right.
Yeah, so that was it. So my number one.
Yes.
So then we both had the year 2007 left, I believe.
Yes, we do.
I had 3 movies fighting. 3 fighting.
This was like number one immediately.
Ultimately it was, because I was like, Matt, let's be honest with yourself. I literally said it to myself, and I wrote it down. My number one, There Will Be Blood.
Yes, my number one, There Will Be Blood as well. Good choice, son. Good choice.
And why it beat No Country and Zodiac for me.
Oh, yeah, and so, Matt, absolutely agreed.
Those are my 3. Just like, I'm getting pulled in 3 different directions.
Yep.
There Will Be Blood to me is art.
Yep.
Not to say that the other 2 are not.
Yeah.
And I'm not denigrating because I love both the Coens and Fincher.
Absolutely.
I think they're all 3 absolutely amazing. I've seen every piece of work they've done, and I hold some of them in the highest esteem in my pantheon of movies.
Agreed.
Love them to pieces. What P.T. Anderson does here is... it's what I love. That's what I love about The Phantom Thread. It's what I love about Boogie Nights. It's what I love about, like, every time, man, it just seems like a painting.
Yeah.
Like it's a piece of art to me.
Yeah.
Every choice, I don't know, it is a master stroke, and I'm sucking this dude's dick over here, and I'm fine with it. And I don't know why, but he just always resonated with me where I walk out. Like, the master is a masterpiece to me.
Yeah. Well, listen, let's break this down and be honest. Matt and I, we love a good, stupid, fun comedy. Matt's a stand-up comic, whatever. We have our things. But the reason this show works is because we have a genuine love of cinema, a genuine love of film, right? We can love all kinds of shit, but we respect
Remains of the Day.
That fucking movie.
I'm a motherfucker that likes Remains of the goddamn day.
Look, we can both extol the virtues of Caddyshack, but at the end of the day, the craftsmen that understand how to use the tools to create art like There Will Be Blood, we both intrinsically recognize and respect and admire. And Paul Thomas Anderson does that with There Will Be Blood. I saw it again a couple of weeks ago. What he does with the use of the score, silence, the weird dialogue and the way it's presented and the way the scenes progress, the smirk that he gives Daniel Plainview through most of the movie, because he is so much smarter and driven and hungrier than every other person around in him that he cannot find an equal. And so he plays with Paul Dano's character like a fucking child forever, because he is offended that that person would even conceive that he could play on the same level as Plainview. And that's incredible, man. And then the whole thing with the oil in his son. So he's a broken man.
Yes.
That broken leg at the beginning is symbolic of what he will be for the rest of the movie.
Well, I mean,
broken.
His choice of occupation screams of who he is. He just wants to take from the earth for his own gain and fuck everybody and everything else. And ultimately, when he just turns on his son, the only person that loves him in this world, the only one, and it ends. When I saw it twice in the theater, I can't remember if it was the first time or the second time, and it ends, and he is a drunk, and he's just literally destroyed the world around him in no time flat, and it cuts to black, and he's by himself, and you just picture him in the squalor of he has no one on this island. It's pathetic. Right. You may have all the money, but your life sucks, and I wouldn't want it.
Right.
And these old people were sitting right next to me, and it was during Oscar season that came out, so it was a packed house of people going out to see the right movies type of thing. An old woman next to me was like, "That's the end of the film?" And in my head, I went, "Fucking A right, it is." Because that's what happens to a lifelong drunk that is that destructive.
Yep.
And if that is your only motivation in life, of course you're going to end up alone and pathetic and just this existence that I wouldn't wish on anyone.
No.
Doesn't matter the fucking money.
That's the thing, the pursuit of the money, how
it corrupts him.
It corrupted him from beginning to end. I mean, so much so that when he says to, you're right, with his son, he goes, "You were a boy in a box. You were just a baby in a box." Like, he removes this whole relationship by denigrating, by reducing his son to something he found.
Yeah, a piece of trash.
A piece of trash.
And I picked you up. You are where you are because I picked you up.
Right. And he says, "Oh yeah, all the years we spent together mean nothing because you're turning on me now."
What does he want to marry a woman that he doesn't want him to marry?
That he doesn't think is worthy of, which is so ironic because he's scrounged and he was a fucking low rent guy too who made it to this point that he made it, that he thinks he's an elite now because of the things he's done. But he's a dirty son of a bitch from inside out.
You see it all the time, especially from at least so we're told, fathers stopping their children from marrying so-and-so throughout up until recently, Western culture didn't have arranged marriages unless you were a royal on some level.
Right.
But aristocracy and whatnot, you needed to marry at a certain station.
Yes.
Otherwise, you're bringing the family down. And if, somebody just has money, they need to have a lot of money if they're going to buy into because you're getting the blue blood type of thing. That belief of we now live in rarefied air.
Yeah.
And you need to act accordingly. Just ridiculous.
What Paul Thomas Anderson does in the film too is really evoke that era. And I know Matt and I are big fans of period pieces, movies that get it right.
Make
they really do.
Yeah, seem real.
Yeah, and that whole place where he's at, when he gets there, when he sets up the oil rigs, when he does what he does, when he has the church services, when everything like that, and the progression in the train, when he's having those like professional ball busting moments with these other people that coming in thinking they can undercut him, all the stuff that's going on there, and then he has this overdeveloped sense of disrespect, right? He thinks everyone, if they don't speak to him a certain way or dress him in a certain way, and then you have this weird subplot with this guy who's pretending to be his brother, which exposes those
great though.
Yeah, right. But exposes the family issues that he still must have deep within him.
Also, that we know now as a society that once you can achieve power and money and all that, you'll have people coming at you.
Yep.
And that's something that he was wary of.
Yeah.
But how many people had heard those stories at that point? Like now, that's common knowledge. That's part of our lexicon of understanding. It's like it's like bands. You don't do drugs.
Yeah.
Sweet. You know that, or if you know going into it, it's probably going to end bad.
Yeah.
Go watch VH1 from the mid to late 90s.
Yeah, behind the music.
Yeah, there's 50 of them right there.
Yeah, exactly.
We're more educated to see that, like the deception of what that would have been like. Someone shows up and they spin a good enough yarn and you believe it, but when they're just bobbing in the ocean and he figures out, oh man, it's so menacing.
Yeah, it is, man.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't do what you expect him to do. And that's what's fascinating too, man. That whole conversation on the fucking, in the chairs outside that house.
Yeah.
You're just like, damn. It's on a knife's edge the whole time, and it's because Daniel Day-Lewis is an incredible actor. He walks that razor's edge like that caterpillar in Apocalypse Now that Brando talks about. Kurtz talks about that caterpillar walking by the edge of the razor blade. That's what Daniel Day-Lewis is doing the whole time in the movie. It's incredible. Incredible. All right. Anyway, so that's our movies. That's our list.
So look at that. 1 and 2 are done.
Yes, totally.
That's easy peasy.
All right. I'm banging, so you're right?
Yep.
All right, so then your number 3 was what now? For the same year?
No, we'll just go by movie.
Oh, okay. No, but I mean it was, right? Because your number 3 was from 2004.
Oh, yeah.
Come on now. I mean, Eternal Sunshine, for God's sake.
What was yours again?
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
See, there's no way to me. I've seen Eternal a handful of times. I've seen Anchorman 500 times, like a ridiculous number.
I understand that. But Major League you've seen 500 times. That's not certainly not your number 1 film in 1990.
Well, we're not talking about Major League, are we?
But I'm just saying.
We're not talking
Eternal
about...
Sunshine is a masterpiece.
So is Anchorman. To pull off a comedy that successfully, do you know how hard that is? To keep swinging for the fences like that over and over and over again and make solid contact? Because that thing should fail 27 times before the first act is over.
Yeah.
And it continues to succeed over and over and over again. It's fucking amazing. Whereas this, you could tell me that Spike Jonze did this. You could tell me that, like, numerous individuals that think along those, like, who did Schenectady?
That was Charlie Kaufman.
Charlie Kaufman. Mm-hmm. You could tell me this is a Charlie Kaufman.
It is. He wrote it.
Who else is pulling off, other than Will Ferrell and Adam McKay, Anchorman?
Judd Apatow.
He wasn't around at that time. I'm saying these guys are contemporaries of, and they could have made that movie. Whereas Anchorman is more singular of its time. Apatow was a year, 2 years later when he finally got his shot.
You have Jim Carrey breaking the norm, not being going off of Ace Ventura. Nobody expects him to come in and step in and do Eternal Sunshine. He's incredible in this movie. He toes toe-to-toe with Oscar-winning actors like Kate Winslet.
It wasn't his first dramatic. This is Will Ferrell announcing.
This is second dramatic.
Because of this movie, now we have 3 Will Ferrell movies a year, and we have, since this movie came out.
That's not a good thing.
In 2004. 14 years.
That's not a good thing.
Doesn't matter.
Come on.
Jim Carrey has lost that status. And fucking Ferrell is still pumping them out, baby, 14 years later. Because of this movie. Whereas Carrey for Dumb and Dumber, Ace Ventura, others, that cemented him. Whereas this did not.
Okay.
This cemented Will Ferrell.
It's a ridiculous thing, but I'll let you have it.
It's because it's right.
No.
All right, so that takes Eternal off the list.
Yeah, to number 4, right?
Off the list.
What do you mean off the list? No. I will not agree to that.
It's by year.
No. I will not agree to that.
It's by year.
I will not agree to that.
It's one film, but that's the construct of this show.
You're going to tell me that...
Doesn't matter.
We're going to take Anchorman over Eternal Sunshine for this, and we're not going to have...
That is the construct of this show. What do you want to fight for next?
We have now drawn lines in the sand.
That's fine.
This will not be pretty for the rest of the fucking...
You didn't...
Okay.
You didn't... That was the explanation of the show.
You made your choice.
It was by decade. That's fine.
All right. My number 4 then is Casino Royale.
From what year?
2006.
You got it.
Okay.
See that? We're buddies.
No, don't do that.
You were buddies.
Yeah, please. This is going to be a bumpy ride.
You said that was 2006?
Yeah, 2006.
All right, I got to mark that off on my list.
So is that number 4?
That is number 4.
Number 4. Okay. So then...
What's your next highest?
Would be number 5, I guess, which would be The Bourne Identity in 2002.
All right, that should go on there then right here at 5, because I also had that. That should maybe even be higher than both of Anchorman and Casino Royale.
Oh, because it's a common one?
Yeah, it's the last common one we have.
Okay, if you want to do it, but I feel like this is an unusual list.
Okay.
I feel it's okay at
That's
5.
fine. I'm just floating the idea.
Yep. Oh, my God. I can't believe it. I can't believe that happened. I'm going to log a protest with the podcast board of directors. All right.
All right. And that was your what?
Number 5.
My number 4 is The Fog of War, 2003.
Okay. Open Range is my number 2000, but that's number 8. So, yeah.
Easy peasy.
Okay, stop it.
Well, that's what I did with Casino Royale. It's like, oh, you're fighting one at the bottom of my list. Okay.
Yeah. Eternal Sunshine, please.
What do you got? I got my number 5 next. What do you got?
My number 5 was Bourne. So number 6 is Syriana from 2005.
All right. You want to give me Gladiator next? Because I have it higher, and then you get Syriana next.
Oh, yeah, sure. That works.
So Gladiator 2000.
Well, yeah, I can accept it over Crouching Tiger. It won Best Picture, and it was my second choice, so that's fine.
And then Syriana from what year?
2005. All right, what are we up to?
I got my number 7 left.
Well, how many
We have 9 and 10.
9 and 10. Okay, so your number 7 is left?
My number 7, 2001.
Which is?
Monsters Incorporated.
Okay, because it's higher than my 2000. My 2001 is Training Day, but that's my number 9.
Whoa, okay.
So
All right.
that's fine.
Monsters, and then what do you want last? Training Day? Or what's 2009 is left? What do you have for 2009?
I have Watchmen.
Okay.
Did we put... Wait. Oh, yeah, because Bourne made it on. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. Watchmen, 2009.
2009.
Boom!
That's a hard list. I like this structure, though.
Had I known.
I like this structure.
Had I known.
We're going to be doing this again.
All right. Next time you lose. Next time you goddamn well lose.
Look, we're all in this together.
Listen.
We're all in this together.
This isn't a high school musical.
This is not a tête-à-tête. This is friends.
I don't know. That number 3 was a tête-à-tête. That's for goddamn sure.
Well, thankfully the right side came out and won on that one.
Did it though? History will tell us.
All right. So what are we going to title this?
What do you mean? What are we going to title this?
Well, the top 10 movies
Of the aughts.
of the aughts.
Yeah.
By one movie per year.
Okay. Done. I can do it.
Okay.
Me. The top 10 movies of the aughts by the year 2000 to 2009. There we go.
Beautiful.
I think I got it. All right.
You're banging.
Oh, yes, right. I'm banging. Sorry. Ad number 10.
2009's The Watchmen.
Ad number 9.
2001's Monsters, Inc.
Ad number 8.
2005's Syriana.
Ad number 7.
2000's Gladiator.
Ad number 6.
2003's The Fog of War.
Ad number 5.
The Bourne Identity from 2002.
Ad number 4.
2006's Casino Royale.
Ad number 3.
2004's Anchorman.
Ad number 2.
2008, The Dark Knight.
And our number 1 film from the aughts by year is
2007, There Will Be Blood.
That's. I feel like it's a score there. There's a little bit of the score that's going on there.
All right, so I got Robert Haley's list.
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
At number 10, he's got The Bourne Identity from 2002. Oof. At number 9, The Departed from 2006.
Oh, people love that movie.
At number 8, here's one, Old Boy, 2003.
I was so close. Old Boy was so close for 2003. Finding Nemo edged it out as my second choice.
Yeah. At number 7, The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, 2001.
He's crazy.
At number 6, Inglourious Bastards from 2009.
A lot of people like that movie, man.
Yeah. I mean, I like other Tarantinos way more.
Me too.
Number 5, you're going to enjoy this, 2004, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Told you.
And at the bottom he says, so many good movies, my toughest cut was Anchorman.
Ironic.
What are you going to do?
Did he say that really?
Yeah,
or are you just saying that because we battled?
I swear
over
to God.
that?
Right after
How
that says, but I
funny.
couldn't leave Eternal Sunshine off.
See? You son of a bitch.
It's one guy. Doesn't mean he's right.
Come on.
Doesn't mean, you know what? Do a poll online. Who should have made it? Anchorman or Eternal Sunshine?
Our audience, it's going to be Anchorman. That's not fair.
All I'm saying is, anybody that chooses Eternal Sunshine, go run around with matches at a gas station. Because
what is wrong
your
with you?
opinion is incorrect. At number 4, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang in 2005.
Nice choice.
At number 3, No Country for Old Men in 2007. Okay. At number 2, The Dark Knight 2008.
Yep.
And number 1, Memento 2000.
Why do people love that movie so much?
I haven't seen it in so long. I can't make a qualified.
I like it. But there's I don't. It's
when
not,
I saw it, it was hyped up to be the greatest thing of all
Yeah.
time. And so I saw it and I was like, it was good.
It's a good noir, but it's not like the greatest noir ever fucking
It was
made.
literally the way it was built to me. This is, honest to God, the darling of all the everything, and for a reason. This thing is amazing. And I saw it and I was like, it was good.
Yeah.
It was good. It just it was built up too much in my mind.
It's 2 Nolan films back to back, though. So congratulations to Robert for doing that. So there you go. All right. Well, we've come. That's our list.
That is our list.
I hope we gave you some movies that you haven't thought about in a while. Maybe you skipped them or haven't circled
seen it
back to
all.
watch them. Maybe go back and watch them. I had just had that experience with Thelma and Louise over the weekend, which I had never seen, and I just happened to watch it because I was exhausted after our basketball games on the couch and watched it. So there you go. Sometimes you think. Hopefully, we got a movie that you will enjoy as you listen to us. All right, Matt. What are we moving on to next?
We have our Patreon shout-outs, which is technically we missed last month by one day.
We did.
So it's because today lands on the 1st, we're just going to go ahead and put out last month. So we apologize for the 1 week delay on this. But technically, I mean, we're only a day off.
I mean, seriously.
So cut us a tiny bit of slack. Do me one favor, John. Please don't read anybody's email address fully.
Oh, that's...
That's all I ask.
I apologize.
So I don't have to go in and edit later and be like, all right, what was the minute marker when I got to go and delete something?
A fair request.
All right, so I thank you. This is our shout-outs.
Okay.
Anybody at the $5 level and above on Patreon, at the end of the month, we give a shout-out, or technically at the beginning of the month. And we were going to go right down the list. We were going to say all of your names. We will fuck up some of your pronunciations and apologize in advance. And also, I'd like to say, this is our way of saying thank you to each and every one of you that support us every month.
Absolutely.
And we hope you're enjoying the old shows and participating in Thunderdome and getting to pick a show topic and everything. We appreciate you more than you ever know. So here, starting at number 1 is Mike Barrington,
Wiley Todd,
Camilo Gutierrez,
Anthony Casanova,
Gil Reyes,
Drew Enns,
Matthew Hasso,
Citizen Ugly,
Andrew Hayes,
Mitch Newman,
Robert Haley,
Claiborne Williams,
Christos Arakzakos,
Eric Grebner,
Philip Rinshaw,
Jonathan Peck,
Alec Christie,
Frank Montoya,
Dylan Steiner,
Rachel Silvestrini. Hi, Rachel.
Jake Higgins,
Zach Butts,
Martin Borak,
Joey Anthony,
Lawrence Witt,
Ellis Menchaca,
Sean Naughton,
Andrew Marker,
Brian Saferni,
Kevin Fuss,
Wayne Murphy,
Dan Somerville,
Ben Archambault,
Rudy A. Martinez,
Eric Ritz,
Brett Yo,
Matthew Pickerdet,
Deborah Torres. Hi, Deborah.
Joey Peter,
Ruben Enriquez,
Tom Costany,
Dwayne Burke,
Phil Neglia,
Gulik Granerud,
Ed Buzzkirk,
Niall Blackie,
Norwegian Blue,
Brian Osagura,
John Keefe,
Chris Consiglio.
Eva, a.k.a. Evil,
Ooh, now I'm intrigued. Simon Brouillard,
Perry Zock,
Kristen Smith. Hey, Kristen.
Austin Fuentes,
Ryan M. Brandos,
Chris Jones,
David Mitchell Baker,
Jack Van Ord,
Marcel Berman,
Aaliyah Moore,
Aaliyah, Fuzzy Large,
Colin Murray.
Ingi Por Hallgrimson.
That was good.
Thank you.
Robert Cooper,
Elise Brancato,
Chris Gohans,
Ole Heskia,
Nicholas Smith,
Fraser Jubb,
Ashley Prowls,
Jack McIntyre,
Brandon Brown,
Daniel Denz Mousley,
Alejandra Padilla,
Jason Taylor,
Simon Huffnagel,
Sunjayanth Fernando,
Jay Watson,
Seth Shearer,
Philip Lane,
Seamus Braytag,
Ryan McKenna,
Joel Rosario,
Ryan Clark,
Matthew Lee Cravens,
John Holloway,
Johannes Schmidt,
Katie Seven,
Cecil Hops,
Eric Barrios,
Ty Hard 13, yes, sir.
Matt Jund,
Joshua Stein,
Andrew Herbs,
Joseph Burtwhistle,
Giancarlo Simonetta,
Andy Ortiz,
Andrew Berger,
Eric Bloor,
Jim Payne,
Jour Mugerli,
Laura Deverson,
Patrick Zamora,
Brian Akins,
Sean Brennan.
Davion Ekinsanya,
Yes, I like that. Oh,
There you go.
Suntharalingam. Whew.
Simone Skjot Thompson,
Nice. Kjartan Helgi,
Darth Easy,
Tim Koskuba,
Jacob Pullen,
Brian Evans,
Christian Lungard Kjoller,
Jeff Saliba,
Ian Morgan,
Julian Key.
Dan Nye,
Hey, Dan. Jose de la Torre,
Christian Loddens,
Matt O.
old Stevie Morris,
Hey, the Cinephiles. Nice. Andrew O'Day. Or D.
Martin Collins,
Josh James.
Jerome Cunningham,
Magali Dore.
Ricky Rivers,
Gordon Rustling.
Matthew Lefreniere,
Aaron Carroll.
Nick Dornoff,
Nick White.
Jeff Peters,
Tyler Spots.
Josh Ryan,
Jen Kempe. What's up, Jen? Kemp. Is it Kemp?
it is Kemp,
Sorry, Jen Kemp.
Patrick Campbell,
DJ. Francisco Ramirez Burgos.
Bar Shemrich,
Thomas Price.
Mike Austin,
Rowan Chowdhury.
Alexander Marzonia.
Nicole Leah.
There you go. That's the one I think in the past you have read twice. Thorsten M. Mueller. I was waiting for it. I was like,
I saw the finger. Jose Goico Valentin.
Evan Zoller,
Kevin Hills.
Jonathan Chase,
Luke Larson.
and finally, our final shout out is Jesse Frost.
Thank you, Jesse. Wow.
Thank you to all of you.
Yeah, all of you, absolutely.
So much.
And the $1 people, too. Thank you so much.
Yes, as we put on Patreon, our eternal thanks.
Yeah.
But if you want that sweet, sweet, sweet shout out,
That's right.
You want to taste the sugar, baby, you got to play. You got to pay to play.
You know how it works.
Anyway, so that is it. Those of you that are enjoying the old school episodes, I thoroughly enjoy whenever you post on Facebook or on Twitter what in the hell we talked about, because I have no recollection.
Yeah.
I think of all but maybe a handful of moments from several different shows. But, someone reminded me or brought up the other day, I think it was like our second or third show, I brought up the NBA, and you didn't seem that interested.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, not to say you weren't a fan, but I brought it up, and you didn't instantly jump on an NBA discussion.
Well, I was still getting to know Matt Knost, so maybe I didn't know he was that deep of an NBA. And maybe I didn't want to
Perhaps.
expose my
I don't know.
NBA nerddom.
I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't want to maybe...
That's a good question.
Maybe I didn't want it,
Maybe we go back and listen and psychoanalyze our former selves.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do a commentary track of
That'll be $200 a month.
that's
and
right.
We psychoanalyze a specific episode from somebody out there.
Yep.
But yeah, I think it's fascinating every time you're like, like someone, I think, I'm waiting for the first iteration of whenever so-and-so says this. And you're like,
Yeah.
perfect.
We got, people they haven't gotten to chimp strong yet or laser nipples, so we got a way to go till they get to that.
Yeah, we got, I think, a few months at least from wherever they're at.
Yeah. So there's a lot coming. I mean, there's a lot of, and some movies that we'll probably change our opinions on from 3 years ago as well. Like,
Yeah,
so
as our tastes mature and advance, you see new things, it educates your opinion, and some things fall out of favor, others come back. It's a fluid thing.
Yeah. Various states of exhaustion, I'm sure, as well. Because we were doing so many of these at one point, which you'll get
towards
to
the
eventually.
end. You might be able to hear it. But yeah, if you want to join in the discussion on Facebook, it's facebook.com/groups/the top 10 show with the number 10.
Yes.
So hit us up on there. Join us on Patreon. Let's add to the discussion, people.
Yeah. Let's have some fun.
And thank you so much to Robert for the awesome topic.
Yep. Great topic.
Yeah, really fun and inventive. A great take, still stayed within what the show is.
Yep.
I liked it. I liked it thoroughly.
I did too. And the fact that it brought some contention into the show was great too.
Yeah.
We battle about movies every once in a while, so it's nice to have it happen.
And something was just like, well, you got to pick a year.
Yeah.
And where's it out on your list? And now it comes down to like the placement is really important.
Right.
I figured you'd have Gladiator. I thought we'd have 4 in common. That was my guess.
Sorry,
we had 3.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
I let it go on the list, so that's all that matters.
Okay, I don't know what that means. But anyway, follow me on social media at Matt Knost, MattKnost. I'm doing some amazing things on Twitter, guys.
You really are. You
Amazing
really are.
things on Twitter. So just hop on there. Let's get part of that discussion, baby.
You guys can follow me at The Rocha Says on Twitter and on Instagram. And like we said, if you want to be part of the Patreon, www.patreon.com/the top 10 number 10. Facebook groups, I never know what the address is. Did you already say it already? Did I miss it? Okay, never mind. Everything's been said. Thank you so much for listening to us. We're going to go home now to our respective beds and go to sleep because it's been a long day for both of us.
Yeah,
Thank you, everyone. Have a great week, and we will talk to you soon on the Top 10 Show.